thanks for all that we have received. Bless today's race, that all our drivers be kept safe as they compete to finish first. In the race of life, to finish first is not the goal, but to reflect your nature, O God, to be giving and forgiving, and to see in everyone the very best. For this we pray. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome from Transcendence Theater Company's Broadway Under the Stars in Sonoma Valley, Natalie Gallo.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
11 races to NASCAR's playoff, 9 winners of blocked up spots, 7 remain. Who can make their move today to get in? Chevrolet, the official vehicle of NASCAR, is the most awarded car company 3 years in a row. Learn more at Chevrolet.com. It's a special scene. Look at the blue skies and the cool flyover in Sonoma, the wine country in Northern California, where we have the first road course of the season. The only other one's at Watkins Glen. That's where Kevin Harvick does have a win. And with Michael Waltrip, Chris Myers, I'm surprised that Kevin Harvick has yet to win this year.
Well, he won yesterday in the prelim to this event, so he knows this track. He loves this place. I talked to him down on the grid, Chris. He thinks he's got a car he can win with today.
And when I asked Darrell and Jeff about winning the championship, well, Darrell Waltrip went with Kyle Busch. You think that's a pretty good pick in the big picture?
I just feel like these Toyotas of Joe Gibbs Racing have been waiting for the summer months to bring out new cars, better stuff week in and week out. We saw great performance from him in Michigan. He's my guy that I think is going to win the championship, Kyle Busch. And this guy has been impressive, hasn't he? He told me also that he thinks that his back tires will be the key to success today, keeping from spinning them up off the turn, and he's got a good car that will do that.
Boyer, the 2012 Sonoma winner, and Joey Logano, he had that encumbered win, so he still needs a victory or get up there in points if he hopes to get into NASCAR's playoff as we move a little bit closer. Only 11 races, 10 after this one.
There's Chase Elliott. We know he's in a backup car, but he was fast in that backup car. I think he can be a factor today, Chris.
All right, so the length of this race, the road course, 110 laps, just under 219 miles. And we'll have stage races with a fuel window between 36 and 42 laps.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, comedian, actress, and voice of Cruz Ramirez in the new Disney Pixar feature Cars 3, Cristela Alonso, accompanied by Toyota Master Diagnostic Technician, Mr. Rene Doss. Drivers, start your engines!
Glad to have you watching Race Day on FS1. Time for something completely different. A road course. NASCAR straight ahead.
You thought we were going road racing? No. We're going curb hopping and popping and bouncing and trouncing and bicycling on two wheels. jamming up and down on the 11 turns of Sonoma. You got to take care of your brakes. You got to take care of your transmission. You got to take care of your sheet metal, because there's more contact here than at Martinsville or Bristol or Richmond or any of those short tracks. You tell I'm excited? Welcome to Sonoma. Mike Joy, Darrell Waltrip, Jeff Gordon to call this race for you. And boy, these road races have really become something different, something else.
Oh, they really have. And you talked about feelings. If you have any feelings, you better leave those back at the hotel. Because you nailed it, Mike. These cars are big. They're heavy. They're clumsy. You can't pass anybody here without making a little contact. We're going to trade some paint today. You better leave those feelings at home.
You know what else you can't do? Can't hardly pick a winner here.
No, you talk about different. There's been 8 different winners in the past 8 races here at Sonoma Raceway. Kyle Busch, the only 2-time winner in the field. A previous winner, Mart Jr., showing he has the speed to win again. So where is all the dominance gone that we saw years ago?
Well, you retired.
But look no further than our pole sitter. This kid, Kyle Larson, the fastest race car driver on the planet right now, he may be becoming the next road course master.
Well, Jeff is the all-time winner for NASCAR at Sonoma. Let's see how Las Vegas looks at this race today. Truex 4-1, Kyle 5, Kyle 7, A.J. Allmendinger, the ringer, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. at 25-1. Getting ready to go for a little Sunday drive in wine country, California. Cloudy and chilly this morning and a light mist, and now the sun is out. It's beautiful, great growing weather, and it's a wonderful day for a race. It's the Toyota Save Mart 350 on FS1 from Sonoma Raceway, California, and this unique track will provide some unique onboard camera views for you today. A.J. Allmendinger in his number 47 Chevrolet shifter cam. There's the shifter closest to the camera. and also the over-the-shoulder 360 view. Kevin Harvick is going to have a foot cam. So you're going to see him working that throttle and brake pedal and occasionally the clutch. Denny Hamlin carries a bumper cam. This is the third one he's gone through this weekend. They bounce off those curves hard here. And there's Danica Patrick. Look above her face shield and you'll see the Fox Visor Cam. Our new innovation, long time in the making, and we're proud to debut it here. Thanks to Danica for carrying that for us. Here is your starting lineup. Kyle Larson, first pole at his home track. His Ganassi Chevy teammate Jamie McMurray has his 6th Sonoma front row start. 2013 winner Martin Truex Jr. and two-time Sonoma winner Kyle Busch in Road 2. A.J. Allmendinger, a road course winner in 2014 at Watkins. And Danica Patrick has her best start in 3 years. Ryan Blaney, Chelsea Elliott, a lot of young guns up toward the front here.
Yeah, let's go on board with our Visor Cam. Hey, Danica, this is Jeff up in the FS1 booth. First of all, great qualifying run in 6, and thanks again for carrying this Visor Cam. Amazing view. Tell us about the challenges we're going to be watching in that view from that Visor Cam.
I think that you're just going to see how you can't see the corners sometimes, and you can't see what's going on. You also only see what's in front, so sometimes on TV I think it looks a little more chaotic because you can see what's behind, but we just see what's in front. So half the amount of stuff to look at.
Well, also, there's so much fall off in the tires from the beginning of a run on new tires to when they get older. So how does a driver play a role in maintaining that grip throughout a run? Okay, we might have lost her there in turn 7. Hey, Danica, I just have one more question, if you don't mind.
Yep, I didn't hear anything, so go ahead.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I was just talking about the fall off. There's so much fall off in these tires from the beginning of a run on new tires to the end of a run. So, how does a driver play an important role in maintaining that grip throughout a run?
Just trying to not abuse them. Sometimes you can't do anything about it. It just is what it is. I think that's where you see the difference in good cars and bad cars. But, you can be a little easier on them on throttle and through the fast stuff. I think off the corner you're going to lose drive no matter what, but at least in the fast stuff you can try and hopefully keep your front tires.
All right, well, we're looking forward to going along with the ride, and have a great race.
Thank you.
We have 5 drivers making their Cup debut in this race. Boris Said is a longtime road racer. Kevin O'Connell has 8 Xfinity starts. Alon Day from the NASCAR Euro Series. Billy Johnson, who just raced at Le Mans for Ford last week. Josh Bilicki's raced in Continental Tire and SCCA Majors. And Tommy Regan has 6 Truck Series starts and has raced here in K&N West. One thing that's very different at Sonoma this year, Larry, stage racing will really reflect the complexity of this day.
Yeah, Mike, we've been coming here once in a year to Sonoma since 1989, and the question was always, will a team make 2 stops, 3 stops, maybe even 4 stops like Tony Stewart's team did last year? But now we know we have a caution at lap 25, at lap 50, and that will be a game changer, I think, as far as strategy. Now let's take a look at our Toyota race analysis. 110 laps, 219 miles. There it is, stage 1 and 2, 25 laps apiece. The race to the end, 60 laps. Pit road speed, 40 miles per hour. Pay close attention to fuel window, 36 to 42 laps.
Thanks, Larry. They're geared up to go here in Sonoma. Camping, sold out, fans filing into the grandstand, ready to race. Turn 4, pace car leads them around across the short chute to turn number 7. We don't use the carousel for NASCAR here at Sonoma. Come around 7 and then head for the S's. Pit road, late breaking stories beginning with Jamie Little.
Well, Mike, so much attention has been given to Kyle Larson this weekend, and for good reason. But you might want to keep your eye on his teammate, Jamie McMurray. The one car was fast, on and off the truck. They worked on this car, made it better. Short run, long run speed was there. He qualified on the front row for the first time this year, and he told me this is one of his favorite racetracks. But today, it's not all about getting those stage points. It's all about the win. They need to get that win, lock themselves in the playoffs, and this is one of his best tracks. Good place to do it. Matt?
Jamie, 3 out of the last 4 years, A.J. Allmendinger has started on the front row. Today he rolls off 5th. The biggest challenge for the years for A.J. is just the balance of the enormity of the opportunity to score a win in his wheelhouse and lock himself into the playoffs versus just the tremendous pressure he always puts on his shoulders. Patience today will be key because there will be a lot of comers and goers with a lot of the different pit strategy we'll see here on pit road. Chris Neville?
Well, it was Lightning Larson with the win last week with the Cars 3 paint scheme. And this week, Clint Bowyer is wearing those colors. But this team is feeling a lot of pressure to get that win. The good thing is they know Clint Bowyer is a consistent front runner here at Sonoma. The big question is, can Lightning strike 2 weeks in a row?
38 cars at the ready. The 2017 Toyota Camry XSE pulls off track. It's today's pace car.
Wait, say we get this thing started, Mike. Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go road racing, drivers!
Larson-McMurray breakaway for Chip Ganassi Racing.
Yeah, Larson saying, catch me if you can. That car is fast, and when you start up front, track position is king, and he's taking advantage of that pole.
Tire temp, air pressure starting to come in right now. Those first couple corners, you saw some movement by the cars. Even our second place runner, Jamie McMurray, had a big moment as he came around that bend past the start-finish line. I'm surprised he's in second place right now.
Slowest corner in NASCAR. 35 miles an hour in the center of turn 11.
And Mike, right now, this is the best we got. This is our best brakes, best transmission, best of everything when this race starts. Bring it home that way if you can.
Oh, Allmendinger, super aggressive, trying to make a move on Mart Truex Jr. coming up to turn 2.
Allmendinger is so good on these road courses. He really knows how to get around here, and he's going to be somebody they're going to deal with all day.
That's a perfect example of how you make a pass. It didn't happen, but that was A.J. Allmendinger. He went for it on Truex Jr. What did that do? That bogged him up, gave Kyle Busch an opportunity to almost make a move on Allmendinger.
Yeah, it was one of those give now, because I might have to take that later.
8th place battle.
You can run side by side for a little bit here, but you're going to have to get single file. Little battle there between Ryan Blaney and Clint Bowyer, and Clint Bowyer is going to win out.
Yeah, it would be in your best interest to get single file.
How about Chris Buescher? Made the final round of qualifying, top dozen. That was a surprise for the young Texas driver, but he leans on his teammate A.J. Allmendinger, who's a great road racer, for advice here.
And I think that was a big plus, Mike. It obviously helped the heck out of Buescher the way he qualified, and he's running pretty darn good in the racer to start with.
Yeah, you got to be very careful. I think A.J. Allmendinger is somebody you can gather a lot of information, but the way he drives here is so aggressive, so much different. Suarez on pit road.
Might be playing.
Watch Denny Hamlin's number 11 into turn 11, 3 wide on the inside.
That's not going to work.
Oh boy.
You do not want to clip those tires. Those tires don't move, but it'll tear your race car up.
Remember, Hamlin had a little problem with turn 11 here last year, so maybe he's working on a different line.
That's where he lost the lead to Tony Stewart on the final lap.
Well, I think Denny Hamlin knows he should have qualified up front. He's got a faster race car than what he's showing, and he wants to get there. He wants to take advantage of some of these fresher tires and the grip he has right now, move forward.
Daniel Suarez made a brief stop, maybe to replace flat-spotted tires, but he is back out on course. Watch that yellow car.
Well, he's got them locked up. Yeah, he's sliding them really good right there. I mean, I think all 4 of them.
Oh, yeah, that's a major flat spot. That would not have lasted long. That's a good call by him to get on pit road, get some fresh tires.
He was 17th, falls to 38th, but here you can pit without losing a lap, and that's what happened to Suarez.
Yeah, you never know, Mike. We got these stages coming up. He might decide to stay out and pit in the second stage.
Visor Cam, Danica Patrick, 6th place.
Look at the amount of movement in that steering wheel. How violent. Watch her jump this curb. She kind of missed the curb, but now goes over the outside curb off of turn 4. Very violent.
Well, and it jars you. When you go over those curbs and a car comes down and it lands hard, it's a big shock to you when you're sitting in a car. I think we'll be able to see that pretty good off this Visor Cam.
I think we're going to see a lot of how talented Danica Patrick is and how physically fit she is. This is a tough track on your body.
And what I like about her is how precise. You watch her with the shifts. They're crisp. I mean, they're clean and precise. That's important.
She's chasing Kyle Busch. She's within sight of the leader. Here's the race for 10th place. Blaney and Busch. And here's second place. Martin Truex is there. McMurray carries wide in the corner, and Truex has a chance. Not this time.
And that's the thing. There's not a lot of places to make a clean pass. You either have to force that driver to make a mistake and go offline and make the easy pass, or you've got to pound it into those braking zones in turn 7 and turn 11. But, boy, it's really easy to close the door.
Well, we saw that 78. He's pretty fast in practice. Chris, what are they saying about the old 78 car?
Well, Daryl, this team has been so good at picking up stage points this week, but talking to crew chief Cole Pern, he said the strategy that they used, they are throwing that out the window today. He said if this race plays out the way he thinks, he said the end of the stages, I can't think about coming to pit lane then if I'm going for the overall win. He said the only thing that's going to change that is an early caution.
Yeah, the strategy is going to be all over the place, and how we play these stages out is going to dictate who wins this race.
Kyle Larson today leads the first laps he's ever led on a road course in the Cup Series.
Excuse me.
Kyle Larson still the leader. He's extended because the battle was for second place. Truex up to second, Allmendinger up to third, McMurray back to fourth. Now Kyle Busch pitted from fifth place. There's a gray dot there.
It's over here, Mike.
Right here.
Yeah, between turn 4
There's
and
Kyle
7.
Busch.
And the green dot is the leader. Here's what happened to cause Kyle to come to pit road.
Big lockup going into the braking zone at turn 11, just like his teammate Daniel Suarez.
Get ready, get ready. Deep tires, left front locked up, got stuck.
Got stuck, huh?
Jamie?
Yeah, and Kyle Busch was just telling his team a little bit more. He said, that's really weird. I locked up the left front going into 11. It should have been the right front. Not sure what's happening. He definitely flat spotted the tires. They got new tires on there, but he said no grip at all, and they're kind of wondering what's happening.
You know, Mike, I really don't think that these early pit stops, it's going to change your strategy, how you approach the next stage. I mean, he could stay out. I know he's on old tires, but he's got enough fuel. He could stay out.
This race is 110 laps, and the stage lengths are 25, 25, and 60.
Yep. Because I heard some guys, Jeff and I talked about this, maybe pitting early in these first stages and staying out in that second stage and winning that second stage.
Jeff, how about today's AARP keys to the drive?
Thank you, Mike. Tire management will be key because there's so much fall off, almost 3 seconds from the beginning of a run to the end. Grip will decrease dramatically over 20 laps or more. And drivers that have great car control will have more speed throughout a run. There are 2 key corners here, turn 7 and turn 11, where you can outbrake the competition and make passes. But there are 9 other corners where mistakes can easily be made and cost you the race. And unlike the majority of the ovals that these drivers go to and these crew chiefs, the ideal scenario at a road course is to be on pit road when a caution flies. The timing of your stop compared to the timing of a caution could put you in prime position to steal a stage or a victory.
Yes. Larson the leader by 1.3. Truex 1 second up on A.J. Allmendinger. The Dinger, 1.1 back of the lead.
In first gear through turn 7. Probably pop right up to second, then to third. Yeah, third as he comes into these S's. Bounces off those curbs on the right. This is the fastest part of the racetrack right here. Turn 9. Fast left-hander. Swings right into the fastest right-hander on the track, turn 10. Whoa, wheel hop right there.
Not good.
And what that is, he's focused on that 78 of Mart Truex Jr. ahead of him, and he just missed the blip a tiny bit on that downshift. That's what causes that wheel hop that you hear. But it was just minor, no big problem.
It was minor, but if you do that very much, Mike, you damage the rear end. You can break a tooth off a gear. You can break a transmission. That wheel hop is a lot more violent than it sounds like on TV.
Well, there are a lot of different ways to work the transmission around this racetrack. Jeff, show us one.
Yeah, we were just watching A.J. Allmendinger. Let's take you for a lap. Let's come off of turn 11 here and go up through the gears. They start in first gear there, up to second, up to third. Some will even use fourth gear as you round the corner, past the start-finish line to turn 1. Now you're going uphill. You downshift third, downshift to second. Some drivers will choose to go all the way down to first gear, but a lot of drivers using second gear all the way from turn 2 through 3, 3A, 4, all the way to 7, and that's where you'll see the drivers brake hard down to first gear. After you leave turn 7, a lot of wheel spin, a lot of acceleration up through the gears. First, second gear, into third gear through those winding S's, left, then right, all the way up to possibly fourth gear through turn 9, and turn 10, third gear, down to first gear, turn 11, as we've got a pass for the lead.
Yeah, Mart Truex, could you go over that one more time? Because he just made a great pass. He caught this 42 car and drove right by him down into turn 11.
Well, we said during the break of how, except when the 78 of Mart Truex Jr. gets by second place McMurray, watch how fast he runs down our leader, and boy, he sure did.
You'll see he just closes up. Truex just gets closer, closer, closer. And his car all through practice, even in qualifying, he was so good through the S's and around turn 10, and he just got a better run down into turn 11 here, able to make that pass.
Now, late in the race, Kyle Larson might stay to the inside to block and tell Martin, you take the long way around, but he gave Truex plenty of room.
Well, you know, this was early in the race, and he saw him coming, and he said, you know what, it's too early for me to hold you off. Yeah, late. No, that's not going to happen late in this race.
Martin Truex Jr., the new leader from Kyle Larson and A.J. Allmendinger. Here's today's Ford Performance Track Facts. Ford has 7 wins at Sonoma with 7 different drivers. Davey Allison got his only road course win here in 1991 after a bump from Ricky Rudd, and Allison got the checkered flag for Ford. 12 laps complete. 13 to go in stage 1. Now watch Larson here in turn 10.
I think Larson's used up his tires a little bit. He's gotten loose.
Oh, boy.
It's wide.
That is treacherous right there.
And Allmendinger pounces. Takes over second.
You're into the fence.
Jamie?
And loose into the right-handers is what he's been fighting all week, and they did make it better. But, Jeff, to your point about using up his tires, I talked to his crew chief, Chad Johnston, this morning, and he said with his background in sprint cars, it's really hard for him to save that equipment and take care of those tires early. We will be reminding him, but that's exactly what's happened as he continues to get past Matt.
And Kevin Harvick taking over that mantle of the elder statesman in the sport, much like Jeff and DW had in their careers. On Saturday, he raced and won in the K&S race. He befriended a young man that he barely held off for the win, Will Rogers. He's here as Harvick's guest in the pit that struck up such a great friendship, trying to pull off the double, though, as he takes that position. 0 words on the radio, just focused, hammer down.
Danica Patrick moving up right behind. She has been right all over the back bumper of Jamie McMurray.
And she's quietly been holding her own, Mike. She's right there in the 6th place and really been doing a nice job just keeping pace.
She's doing a great job, and right behind her is Dale Earnhardt Jr. I think he has a really good car on the longer runs.
It's pretty aggressive,
Right
Jeff, watching him going off into turn 11
Come on,
here.
let's back to the next guy. He's right with.
Ooh, a little block by Danica.
Whoa,
Not a good
Jr.
idea.
loses it under braking.
Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, he clips Larson.
Oh, no.
No. Right in front of Danica.
Well, now that was one of those late race situations like we talked about. Junior pulled to the inside, Danica came down to give him not a whole lot of racetrack. He locked it up and spun.
Yeah, I guarantee he will. He got on the brakes hard and started wheel hopping. That's the end result.
She made a defensive move, and Earnhardt locked him down.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and there's
Watch
so
this,
little
Mike.
rear spoiler in these cars. Not a lot of grip.
You see her move over a little bit, which
I thought he made a great move. I thought she left just enough open, but when he got on the brakes hard and maybe went to that downshift, the back end came around.
Has 6th and 7th place right there. Quite a battle.
See if you can watch the rear tires. Steps out.
Wow. It just come around. She kind of blocked me down into the slick stuff there. Help her, buddy.
Yeah, I definitely don't think there's much grip as you get lower in that braking zone. There's not a lot of grip there.
I think that damages. I think they'll be able to repair this car pretty good. It just looks like it's in the side in front of the rear tire there. Should be able to knock that out and be fine.
And the good news is it's not on the left side. The left side's where the fast right-hand turns are, where you need that grip.
Guys, this
caution
comes at an interesting time. Everybody would love to change 4 tires. The pace has slowed down 2.5 to 3 seconds. I think if you're running outside the top 10, absolutely come get 4 fresh tires. But I think the question, who in the top 10 is worried about winning this stage, or as Jamie pointed out, or Chris Neville about Cole Pearn and Martin Truex Jr., who's worried about winning the race?
We'll know in a second.
Pit road is open this time by.
When I just think of guys like Kyle Larson, I think he got out there, ran hard, used up those tires, and was fading fast.
He's got some damage, too, on that 42 car. The right rear quarter panel on it is banged.
Yeah, you're right. They're definitely going to come because of that.
Yeah.
Here's what Danica had to say.
I needed a lot more help on that. I don't know what he did there. He like locked him down when he went inside you there. I knew he was coming back up.
Now, earlier, it was an easy pass because Kyle Larson stayed way to the outside, and there was plenty of grip in the middle lane, but that inside lane had no grip. That's where Dale Jr. was forced to. Chris.
And a bit of debate whether Martin Truex Jr. should come to pit lane. They opted at the last minute to come in. His only real complaint with the car is he was locking up the right front tire turning into turn 11. So just a little bit of a brake bias change, but no changes on this car. Matt?
Both Allmendinger and the 4 of Harvick have won races on the road course at Watkins Glen, but not here. AJ says the car is too tight through the edges, needs much more grip. No real change on the 4 of Harvick. Jamie
McMurray's car has been good today. They debated about coming in as well, but they're thinking about the end result. The 4-tire stop, wipe the grill, no changes for the 1.
7 drivers stayed out. A.J. Allmendinger wins the race off pit road. Dale Earnhardt Jr. tries the pass. Danica Patrick goes to the middle lane, forcing Jr. to the bottom, on the brakes hard and around.
A winning pit strategy is no sweat when you've got Degree antiperspirant. Degree, it won't let you down. Order it online and pick up in-store using ClickList.
Finishing up the first caution of the day, Dale Earnhardt Jr. too fast exiting his pit. He'll restart at the tail end. 10 drivers ended up staying out once Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez, and Trevor Bayne, who had made early pit stops, cycled around. They will be 8th, 9th, and 10th on this restart. A.J. Allmendinger will be the first car that made a pit stop under this first caution of the day. He'll restart 11th.
Yeah, Mike, this will be really interesting, and it's kind of fun right now. It's almost like an experiment. We're going to see these guys on old tires. How are they going to hold up against these guys back a little bit in the field? How are they going to hold up against those 4 new tires?
Well, not very well.
9 laps to go in stage 1.
But that's the thing. There's not a lot of laps to go, so it's about gaining positions when that stage ends, and I think that they could. Some of those guys like Keselowski very well could do that.
If you don't have a win, you don't have any stage points, it's a pretty darn good gamble.
And remember, Kenseth, he started all the way at the tail.
And he's got a good car. He had passed several cars. He was running in the top, I think, right at 20th.
Yeah, Matt Kenseth lost an engine when the oil pump belt came off during one of those jarring curb jumps down at turn 4 during practice. We're going to head for the Geico restart zone, and we'll get back underway here with 8 laps to race in stage 1. Buescher, Keselowski, Chevy Ford, front row. Allmendinger 3 wide up the hill, looking for spots already with those fresh tires. There he is, right in the middle of it all. Oh, log jam just ahead of him.
Yeah, that's the problem. If these two guys in front of here, if Buescher and the Keselowski get squared away, get a little gap, it'll be hard for these guys with 4 tires to catch them, but they got to get squared away here and get a little gap.
3 wide into turn 4. Allmendinger makes himself some room.
Yeah, and while that's going on, great battle for the lead with Chris Buescher and Keselowski, and Menard sliding in there on the inside of Kenseth.
Yeah, you see the 2 car got a little damage on the left front over there too, so that's a bad place to have damage on a road course. You lose a lot of front downforce.
Don't look now, though, in your mirror, because Allmendinger is coming in a hurry. Oh, it's a big damage.
Big damage.
To the left front, or is that the right front of the 2 of Keselowski?
Paul Menard doing a nice job in 3rd. Matt Kenseth 4th. Allmendinger 5th. Kyle Busch, Stenhouse. Then Truex is the next car with fresh tires. That black car in 8th.
Boy, Buescher got his
front damage up the back.
He's got his hands full, but at least he's out front. Let's see how he does. I've been impressed with Buescher this week, guys. I mean, Allmendinger's his teammate, and they have obviously worked together very well. But here this kid is leading this race.
Well, this just shows you how much grip is in those new tires. He easily made that pass. And you'll make passes on new tires against older tires in areas you'll never make a pass when you're on equal tires.
So Allmendinger now 3rd, went from 11th to 4th in 1 lap on the restart. Matt.
Buescher has a great teammate in Allmendinger who's very generous with data, but also pointers. You got to keep in mind, the 37 also won, as we battle for the lead here. He also won an Xfinity race at Mid-Ohio. Very good as far as the shifting, very smooth.
I think it's only the 2nd race he's ever run here. He ran here last year, but I think it's pretty exciting just that he's leading the race.
So we started the race with Chip Ganassi 1-2. Here's JTG Doherty 1-2.
Yeah, and I think they'll take pretty good care of each other right here. Allmendinger's not going to rough up his teammate.
Want to bet?
No, he doesn't have to. He's got tires, and Buescher doesn't. I think he can make a pretty easy pass here.
I think the most impressive thing to me
go in the stage right here at the line.
Is that
hit your mark nice and smooth with it.
Allmendinger goes to first after, 2 laps? But look, nobody else behind him with newer tires has come up through there. I mean, Truex is in 5th right now.
We talk about how aggressive Allmendinger is, and on a road course, you've got to go. If you got tires and the other guy, you got to get him now.
The top drivers with new tires right now. Allmendinger the leader. Truex in 5th. Kyle Larson 7th. Jamie McMurray 9th. Blaney 11th. Harvick and Bowyer 12th and 13th.
I think that 2 car's in a bit of trouble, Mike. Even though he doesn't have tires, he got all that left front damage, and I'm telling you, that's downforce that really hurts you on these road courses.
Kyle Busch just went into 2nd place. Remember, he had to pit under green, so he has fresher tires than those that stayed out. of those that did stay out, but not as fresh as, say, Allmendinger, Truex, and those that came this last caution.
That guy right there in that 18 car, he's pretty awesome on the road course too. I mean, and he doesn't have as good of tires, but he's going to get a pretty good finish in this first stage. That sets him up to do some different things.
Kyle Busch is a two-time winner here. Martin Truex closing in. Here's his radio.
We'll get it back. Try not to tear the body off because he's got to run into everything.
Remember that feeling thing we were talking about? You got to pick your fights. There are 11 turns on this road course. Don't get excited because you get messed up in one of them. It's like a golf game, Mike. You hit a bad shot, don't hit another bad shot. Put that behind you and move on.
Kyle Larson now 4th after pit stops.
Whoa. A little dust flying there. Well, look at that 21. Got down under a Kenseth right there. Probably be able to make the pass.
Now, Ryan Blaney raced here yesterday. Didn't finish, but got some valuable laps.
That's where Matt Kenseth blew his engine up.
And Harvick making a pretty nice move to the inside of Blaney. Little contact.
And here comes Boyer right with him.
Remember, this move happened.
Whoa. Oh, that's so treacherous.
Oh, that happened with his teammate Harvick not long ago. But Blaney's probably getting a little tired of getting squeezed going into those S's.
Lightning McQueen is moving on.
Here's Kevin Harvick making that move coming up to turn 7.
Well, that's
Get a 21. Go there. Clear.
That's just great driving, great work by the spotters because the 21 of Blaney, he needed to know he was inside to give him enough room.
You saw what happened right there, Mike. The 78 went around the outside of 18. Kyle Busch said, "You got better tires. You're better than I am." He let him go. That was smart.
Do those courtesies get repaid later in the day?
They really do. You know, you kind of put that in the bank. You know that in a situation like that, you can trust that guy. Trust is important.
Larry, the pits will close with 2 laps to go in stage 1, and that's 2 laps from now. What do you do?
Well, I think on this lap coming to the start-finish line or maybe the next lap, I think a lot of drivers outside, well outside the top 10 especially, but even Matt Kenseth that didn't pit, I think they hit pit road before the pit road closes. That way they can stay out at the end of stage 1.
Yeah, Mike, it's really not a fuel race. It's a tire race. And you see what the difference in tires makes. And so that's what these drivers and teams are faced with. I got plenty of fuel, but I'm out of tires.
I'm going to first watch Brad Keselowski because he's not been to pit road yet today. He's in 5th place coming out of turn number 10. Stays out. How about Chris Buescher, who is now 12th after leading on that restart?
I think he's in,
did
Mike.
come to pit road.
Yes.
In. He leads Jamie McMurray onto pit road, Kevin Harvick, and others. Matt Kenseth came in.
Yeah, remember, they only need to make it to that commitment line, which is in front of those tires going into turn 11. So it's about 14 seconds is all they need. Chris?
Well, Danica Patrick just hit pit road. They're going to have to do a little bit of work on the nose of that car. The temperature's going up. And prior to that contact with Dale Jr., she was saying the car was working good. A little bit tight turning in, but good getting off. Matt.
And you could really see the difference in tires. Buescher dropped to about 13th or 14th. He hit pit road. A little bit of cosmetic damage, just lacking tremendous forward drive in his 37 car, Jamie.
Daniel Suarez continues work. And the 20 of Matt Kenseth, his teammate on pit road. They've had a tough weekend, so this will be great. They had the track position, took 4 tires there. But remember, he didn't qualify, guys. Started in the back today.
Thanks, Jamie. For the lead, here comes Truex. Chasing Allmendinger pretty hard, coming down to turn 11.
How good is Mart Truex Jr. on these longer runs?
Boy, that was a great pass, nice and clean.
Spin, Clint Boyer.
A new leader, the 7th.
You know what, Mike? We must be coming to the end of a stage.
Boy.
Pit road is closed. Pit road is closed.
Wow, I think a little contact there.
Did Blaney get together?
No, the 2 of Keselowski, or yeah, I think it was maybe Keselowski.
Wow. Pit road's a busy place, Matt.
Harvick comes into the box, very quiet on the radio. The car's been near perfect all weekend. He threw out his qualifying lap in round 2. Jamie.
And Kyle Busch just saying the drive off today not very good on the 18. Jamie McMurray in as well. Balance has been really solid on the 1 car, and he's down and away.
As you can see, our leader is over here in the S's while those cars are on pit road. Pits are now closed as we approach the end of this stage.
How many stages is Truex won now? Is that 11?
Way more than anybody.
He is setting himself up nicely for the playoffs.
My, how many playoff points he has.
A.J. Allmendinger 1 second back. You get playoff points as well as championship points. You win a stage, and those carry with you all the way to qualifying for the season finale in Homestead. Now, Michael McDowell and Kurt Busch are said to have pitted while pit road was closed. So that'll be a penalty on 95 and 41. And Kyle Busch speeding on exit.
Oh my, all that good work.
And that's what I was trying to explain, is it's about 14 seconds from when the leader gets to the start finish line to the entry of pit road, that commitment line. So when they close those pits, if you were more than about 14, 13 seconds back and you tried to hit pit road, you were going to get that penalty. Larry?
I had the argument this morning in the garage area. That's why you don't roll the dice. Do it with 3 to go. Don't cut it so close trying to be tricky and do it with 2 to go. You get burned.
Yeah, Larry, sometimes you beat yourself, and that's the worst kind of beating you can take.
And a pass-through penalty here takes all day.
Long time.
We talk about dirt track racing, and some that have dirt track experience, it pays off. Clint Boyer is one of those, because he went dirt track and off-roading just a little bit ago, went in a spin, recovered very nicely, and still went in 10th place.
Yep, Boyer battling for the last point available in stage 1. Martin Truex Jr. takes the green and white checkers and beats A.J. Allmendinger to the flag by 1.2 seconds. Kyle Larson, 5.5 back of the lead. Here is the fight for the final stage point. Casey Kane in 9th, Boyer 10th. And they're going to hold off Chase Elliott. Stage 1 at Sonoma is in the books. Martin Truex Jr. is a stage winner again. Martin Truex has been a monster of a stage racer. That is his 11th stage win this season. He has won stage 1 in 3 of our last 4 races.
This is how good that car's been. Everywhere we go. We saw that in practice, Mike. We knew he was going to be tough today, and he's showing it.
So all of the top 20 right now either pitted on lap 15, or in the case of Boris Said and Bilicki, did not pit at all during stage 1.
This is what we've been waiting for, is stage racing here at Sonoma on a road course. We knew that there'd be a lot of teams choosing to come in 2 to 3 laps before the stage would end. This is going to change everything.
A little damage to the right front of Truex's car. He got that climbing the hill after the restart against the left rear fender of Allmendinger. They were both trying to make some gains.
Look at this. The 78 Mart Truex Jr. says, hey, I don't need fresh tires. I'm good.
I think that's a good strategy. I kind of like that. They pitted. They've got enough fuel to go. I think, Larry, can they go all the way to the next stage?
Oh, absolutely, DW, because we're going to go back racing with only about 21 or 22 laps to the end of stage 2. Matt.
Unique pit road here, shaped like a dog leg. Allmendinger making his way to his pit box. Channing Filler and Joe Slingel in the changers going to work. Significant adjustment. The car way too free everywhere. Air pressure change down in both rears. A little bit of tape on the grill if they get a chance. Jamie?
Kyle Larson says he's just loose everywhere right now. The rear is out of the track, and they think that damage on the right rear quarter panel is making it worse. So you see 4 tires there, and he stalls it. They try to push him. He stalls it. He's in the first pit box there. He gets it refired. But, guys, they made an air pressure adjustment there.
Wow. Let's talk to Martin Truex.
Yeah.
Hey, Martin Truex Jr., it's DW. Got me, buddy?
Yeah, bud, what's up?
You are, buddy. We knew it was coming to the end of a stage because you took the lead, and that's your 11th stage win. You got 21 stage playoff points. Man, how do you do that?
You just got to lead the right path, man. That's all there is to it. Guys done an awesome job this weekend with this thing, and just having fun out here. So, love road racing, and looking forward to keeping this thing up for all day. We'll see what we can do. All this strategy is going to be nuts, so we'll just do what we can. But so far, it's been a lot of fun.
All right, buddy. We'll probably be talking to you again later on, so good luck.
Appreciate it, guys. Enjoy up there.
9 drivers did not pit at the end of stage 1, led by stage winner Martin Truex. Claim your free Bloomin' Onion on Mondays after Kevin Harvick places in the top 10. Harvick currently 10th. As we get ready for the restart. At the end of stage 1, Martin Truex Jr. was the leader as pit road opened. You'll see him come down toward pit road. He does not stop. Second place, A.J. Allmendinger dives in. Here's Allmendinger's radio.
So we made our bet for this segment where we're at on tires. We're going to have to run this segment all the way through. Make sure we save a set for the end. 10-4. I thought about just staying out when the 78 stayed out, but I mean his car is pretty good. So yeah, 10-4.
All right. Earlier we had reported Kurt Busch penalized for pitting when pit road was closed. But once they came onto pit road and realized the mistake, crew chief Tony Gibson said, "Don't stop, keep going." No penalty because he did not make a pit stop when pit road was closed.
And Mike, we heard the talk about the 78 car, and he has more options than maybe the other guys do because his car is so good. You know, this is going to be a good test for him right here. He's on these older tires, but not that much older. Allmendinger's going to restart 22nd.
Yeah, he's going to have to be careful. We've seen him be super aggressive on restarts. He's going to have to be a little more patient now and save those tires. But I think getting out of sequence with that 78 is what's going to possibly win them the race.
Allmendinger's the first car that stopped at the end of stage 1. He is 22nd. Kyle Larson 23rd. As Martin Truex Jr. and Ryan Blaney lead them to the Geico restart zone. Here we go, stage 2. Got Cole Witt, Matt DiBenedetto up there in the top 10 ahead of McMurray and Harvick.
Tell you what, Blaney is all over the back of this 78. They would like to get by, looks to me like, and he got a pretty good car.
Well, I wonder, DW, does it take a couple laps for that 78 of Martin Truex Jr. to come in? He's so fast in the longer runs. Surely he doesn't have the speed on the short run also.
I think where he's really accelerates and excels is down through these S's. He is so fast through the S's, better than anybody.
Yeah, if you look at the platform of his car, look how it just stays so flat. Aerodynamically, it does seem to be in the best position for the higher speed S's in turn 9 and 10.
Yeah, I've watched him so far, and he gaps everybody down through the S's. And once you get that little cushion between you and the guy behind you, you can kind of focus on your line and don't have to worry about where that guy is. There's just some place on this track, Mike, that you really need to be good. We just left one of them, turn 11. Let me accelerate out of there. It's going to be pretty hard for you to pass me till we get all the way up to the other end of the track if you have a shot at all.
Cole Witt trying to hold off Jamie McMurray and Jimmie Johnson up the hill.
It's fun coming up that hill, Mike. I mean, you sometimes you get up there and you say, man, I could have driven a lot further because you're going uphill, and you goose it, and you say, whoops, I think I might have went too far that time.
It's amazing how much that hill slows the car down without any brake.
Now here, it's totally opposite because you can get going down this hill right here faster than you realize.
And the 23 goes around. That's the Israeli driver, Alon Day, from the NASCAR Euro Series.
Thanks for a long day.
Whoa.
And caution is out.
Yeah, somebody.
Some damage to the 17.
Oh, man, that car is destroyed.
What happened?
That baby, look at that left front is. Let's see what happened here.
Damage to Danica's nose.
We're going to ride with Danica Patrick.
Whoa.
Somebody made contact.
Wow.
There was contact on the inside, the right side of Danica. Oh, they were 3 wide.
Yeah.
Is that Larson and Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
Yeah.
Forces him into Danica, turns her around.
And that's the caution flag.
And she,
bam.
Man, backs right into
Stenhouse. I'm sure Stenhouse thought she would lock it down and keep it up. But not that you have that much control when your car's out doing what hers is doing, but I know that's what he thought was going to happen. Gosh, that's a hard lick.
She was in 19th place.
Having a great run. The car is good.
Ricky was 22nd.
Yikes, right there.
You know, and it's so hard with spotters here to try to cover all these areas, and then you have somebody, you know, dives 3 wide trying to make a big move there.
That's what happens when you have tires, don't have tires. You're so much faster than some of the cars in front of you, and you take a chance. You got more grip than they do, and you end up with a situation like this. Car's pretty destroyed. I tell you, I noticed the left front is just really pushed in.
Chris?
And boy, just a tough race for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. This team has had 2 good finishes the last 2 weekends when they said they just had an average car, but not going their way today. And Ricky just said, hey, let's just pound that hood down so I can see, and then let's take a look at the damage on the left front.
There's plenty of it. Now, you see them working with that broken piece that came off. They're not allowed to add new pieces to that bodywork. Larry?
Yeah, here at a road course, a lot like a short track. Really and truly, the only thing you have to have is you have to have the deck lid with the rear spoiler, the roof itself, the rear bumper, and all the safety features like the roof flaps and the hood flaps and all. Everything else can just be cut off, which honestly, with the 5-minute clock, that's probably the easiest thing to do.
Only problem I see there, Larry, is it's all right there in the left front, right in front of the driver. The crush panel is obviously knocked out of that thing. He's going to get a lot of heat up in the car.
And Danica's car, that was a top 10 car.
Yep. I just want to see how he's going to drive that car. That left front, the whole suspension is pushed in.
First caution flag of the day for a multi-car incident at turn 4.
You're watching the Toyota Save Mart 350 on FS1. Today, I'm honoring the USO as part of NASCAR Salutes refreshed by Coca-Cola. Go to NASCAR.com/salutes to share your message.
Thanks, Denny. It'll be 17 to go in stage 2. Denny Hamlin will restart 4th behind Martin Truex, Ryan Blaney, and Joey Logano. There's the Toyota Camry XSE leading the field and heading for cover.
Well put. Little 11 car's pretty tough on these road courses, you know. He's pretty strong on some of these road courses. Keep an eye on him. And another guy that's wearing that 78 out is that 21 car, Blaney. I mean, he's trying every way he can to get by Martin Truex here.
Yeah, he was impressive, DW, yesterday in qualifying, tossing that 21 all over this racetrack.
Boy, this is a little drag race here.
We're not seeing any 3 wide on this restart. You think everybody's settled down just a little bit?
They may have learned their lesson for now. May have to go back to school later.
No, I think we just need to go further back to where A.J. Allmendinger is.
So there you some 3 wide right there.
Paul Menard took him 3 wide as he tried to follow Allmendinger through that hole, and did.
You get on those curbs, you're going to bounce into something or someone.
Eric Jones.
Eric Jones riding behind A.J. Allmendinger. Stay right there, son.
Yeah, no
you're going to learn something.
School's in session.
Eric Jones up to 19th. Him and Allmendinger running along there pretty good. 18th and 19th. Not bad for a kid that started, had trouble in practice.
Wow. Allmendinger, he's going to lose it. Yeah, he's going to come around. He tried to go 4 wide on damage.
Oh, man, he really lost it.
That could take one of our major contenders.
Oh, that sounded pretty serious.
That was...
Looked like Larson just missed him.
That was very aggressive.
Ty Dillon caught up in that. We're still green, by the way.
Oh, that's heavy damage.
Let's see what he's got.
Let's watch this again coming down into turn 11. Prime passing point. Watch the white number 47.
Yeah, I think when you get down on that inside, you see him kind of bottled down on that inside. There's a lot of dirt, trash down there.
Yeah, that's Buscher. He's on the outside and going around.
Yeah, and I just don't think he expected all those cars like De Benedetto to move to the left. He's been seeing cars block that inside lane. He could go the outside, roll around there.
Yeah, I saw that.
But that was just too...
I think Kyle Larson might have clipped him. Clint Boyer definitely did.
Oh, he wheel hopped.
42 is going to be covering the bottom here. Hold on to it.
42 guy.
Matt?
Great observation, Jeff. A wheel hop by the 47 came on the radio and told the team, we've killed it.
I don't know if he killed it or not, but it's pretty wounded. I can tell you that. We see parts flying off hanging off the back of it.
Oh, that's just a tail light panel.
Well,
it's about to be light.
Get bear bond ready. Get ready to fix that.
Jamie.
Yeah, and they're talking on the radio right now. There was smoke in the left rear. Chad Johnson, though, just said, don't change tires. Put the tires down. Let's just pull the quarter panel. Let's fix the car up. Make sure that there's no more rubs. But he believes right now that the tires are okay. Remember, Larson started from pole, led 9 laps. They want to get this car back to the way it was. But he's had damage not once now, but twice, Mike.
And, Mike, remember, Chad Johnson, he was Martin Truex's crew chief here in 13 when Martin won the race. So he knows this racetrack, got an aggressive young driver. Don't count him out.
Now, you see, he's the gray dot. Truex is the green, so about half a lap. Separate them now. NASCAR having a look at the rear bumper cover on A.J. Allmendinger. Here's A.J.'s radio.
Keep going, buddy. You're fine. It's just cosmetic. Just keep going. We're fine. We'll get you fixed up. We got to stay out.
I like that.
You know, look, the spoiler is intact and right in its rightful position. So how bad does it look, Larry?
Well, one thing I did misspeak about a while ago, Mike, is it's a road course. You can cut that rear bumper away. It's not mandatory that it has to be on there. I think the reason NASCAR's watching it is in case, and there he's on pit road now, is just to rip it off and keep going.
Well, they're certainly going to have to fix that quarter panel behind the left rear tire, Larry, because that's not doing them any favors on these fast right-handers.
I like getting rid of that rear bumper myself.
So Martin Truex leads Ryan Blaney by 1.8, but Blaney's got a mirror full of Denny Hamlin back at 5th. Joey Logano, Jamie McMurray, Kevin Harvick go at it. Up to turn 7. Hamlin got 2nd place. There's McMurray to the inside of Logano for 5th.
Just remember, Hamlin, he and Tony Stewart had a heck of a battle here last year. Tony Stewart ended up winning the race. Hamlin runs 2nd. But you heard Denny say, I really like where our road course program has been the last year.
Well, let's go to the garage, check with Chris.
And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. cleared from the infield care center. Ricky, these restarts so intense here at Sonoma. What happened over in turn 4?
Yeah, they were just 3 wide in front of us, and looked like they all three hit together, and then Danica spun there and tried to get down below it and hit it. So, I saw it. I don't need to see it. I was in the driver's seat. So, it's just unfortunate. We were having a little issue with our engine temps that we were looking at, but all in all, just really trying to bide our time and save the tires. We saved us at that first stage. We were going to try to do the same thing there, that second stage. So we had more tires left for the end of the race. Now we got Goodyears left that aren't going to get used. Thanks, Ricky.
Stenhouse out of the race. You saw the hood lift up on Alan Day's car.
You can see back there behind Danica. Parts are getting ready to fly up for that 23 car, I'm afraid.
Ty Dillon trying to get by.
Car looks like they've been racing Demolition Derby somewhere.
Now they're all on the lead lap racing for position. That was back at 30th. Here's Denny Hamlin, who has now picked up a hitchhiker. Jimmie Johnson has come to third. Matt,
I was going to say, did you say Jimmie Johnson?
Yes, I did. Matt.
Mike, this morning I was in the 48 hauler talking to Chad Canales on a big dryer race board in the front. He had the team's pit strategy laid out with several options. They didn't feel like they had the speed in the car, so Canales felt like they would have to work the cautions, and that they have. Pitted on lap 15 and 23. They feel like things are starting to sit pretty for the 48.
Well, he just made a textbook pass to Denny Hamlin for second place. 2.8 seconds behind Mart and Truex Jr. And caution is out for debris in turn 11 at lap 39. Truex the leader. Jimmie Johnson, Hamlin, and Blaney will close up under caution. Choices to make as we're under caution and pit road is open. Some come in, some stay out, Chris.
And we see Martin Truex Jr. hitting the box. Cole Pearn said over the radio, I like where this is in our fuel strategy. So they're coming. Not a lot of complaints about this car today. His only issue, still talking about that brake bias, the setting a little bit too far to the rear. Jamie.
And Ryan Blaney decided to pit as well. His strategy, follow the 78 today. Car's been pretty good, just a little bit tight.
Your Sunoco race off pit road.
Yeah, you're going to see the 78 take a bit of a hit here. His front tire changer had all kind of trouble on the left front, or right front, I'm sorry.
Let's go down to Chris Myers.
All right, thanks, Mike. And time for a KFC Zinger race break. A quick recap here with 71 laps to go in Sonoma. With Michael Walter, Kyle Busch, tire props came into pit following the lap drop from 5th to 36. Still searching for that first win of the year. Lap 14, Junior, Dale Earnhardt Jr. slides through turn 11 into Kyle Larson, and in the 10 car, Danica Patrick.
Yeah, she had nowhere to go. Just tight racing down in the corner. You could see Clint Boyer gets a bit of a shove there from Brad Keselowski as they're racing for position over in the S's.
2 laps left in stage 1. Clint Boyer with a spin. Martin Truex takes stage 1. He has led the most laps in 3 wide here in Sonoma. Dangerous. And again, Danica Patrick, the victim, and boyfriend Ricky Stenhouse Jr. involved.
Well, just the passing zones are so intense on the restarts. You got to grab every spot you can get. Danica got spun around, and Ricky could not avoid her car.
Right now, with Jimmie Johnson, who has only won here once, even though he's a 7-time NASCAR Cup champion. With McMurray right behind him, Johnson has moved to the front.
And, you know, Larry McReynolds and the guys have done a great job talking about strategy, but I'm telling you, Chris, there's no telling when these guys are going to pit. You see so many differing plans right now. Jimmie Johnson, when he started back in the 24th position, he's had a fast car all day long driving through the field. Now he's established himself as a leader, but he's off sequence with some of the other guys.
And that is your KFC Zinger race break. Back upstairs to Jeff, Darrell, and Mike.
Thanks, Chris. 17 drivers did not pit, including the first 7 who have the oldest tires. They've been on there since lap 23. The cars from 18th on back just stopped now at lap 39, so that's a 16-lap difference.
Yeah. Things are going to be interesting at the front. We see how Johnson does here with McMurray, but then there's Harvick. He's closed up. There's Kenseth. He's back in the hunt. And there's Buescher. He's back up there. So some good cars.
How frustrating that must be for Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex, those that came into pit, fresh tires, but you've got about 16 cars to go through to get back to the lead.
You can do it, but it's going to take a while.
Pace car heads for home. Leaders address themselves to the starting line.
Oh, big start by the 48 right there. Got a great jump.
Murray has the edge at turn 1, but at turn 2, he's caught on the outside.
See what that allowed? Squeezes Harvick down low. They're still bumping and banging.
What that allowed the 48 to do, he had a great start. He didn't have to run up the hill so hard. But when he got up there, he could accelerate hard and get that nice, comfortable lead right there.
I think McMurray's real happy about that move that Harvick made.
Inside by himself, 20's in there as well.
Gets the spot back.
Harvick won here yesterday. This is big.
A lot of Billy Johnson on the inside.
Yeah, they were 3 wide at turn 7. That's hard to believe.
Billy said, hard to believe they made it out.
Yes.
Clean on the other end.
Billy said, that's not very gentlemanly. Oh no, my name's Johnson, right?
Road Racer Johnson, a 1-race substitute for Eric Almirola, still on the mend. Bubba Wallace returns to the 43 next week. Riding with Eric Jones.
And his windshield wiper.
Yeah.
And to his left, Michael McDowell. And just in front, Daniel Suarez and Billy Johnson in the 43.
Yeah, Johnson tried to get on the outside of Suarez going down into turn 11 there. Almost made it, but didn't quite. And the 19 was able to hold him off. There's Eric.
And Michael McDowell coming into the picture. Pretty good, talented road racer.
Oh, yeah. He and Todd Parrott, they got a good race car. Michael, great road racer. He's won some, I think he won a road racer too at Xfinity Series.
Second place.
This battle continuing.
I don't think that Harvick's very happy with Mr. McMurray.
Plenty of room there.
And McMurray said, you want it that bad? Take it.
All clear.
Harvey kind of returned to his roots yesterday, Mike. Won a K&N race here yesterday. And laps are laps. I think it pays off.
Speaking of paying off, is Jimmie Johnson on the way to his first stage win of 2017.
Well, and I think we're going to find out what kind of race car. We know Jimmie Johnson's a great race car driver, and he's won here at Sonoma before. But we're going to find out how good he is right now, because Kevin Harvick earlier in this race, he was a top 2 or 3 race car. Now he's in second. We'll be able to compare those lap times and see what kind of contender Jimmie's going to be in this race.
Now, these top 12 cars all have about the same wear on their tires, so they're pretty evenly matched.
And I tell you, I just saw Kenseth make a great move in that 20 car. You remember, he started in the rear, and he's finally worked his way up here to 3rd place and got a pretty good-looking race car.
After losing an engine in practice, they chose not to qualify, so started in the back but with fairly fresh tires. Matt did a good job of working his way up front. We're going to take you double wide with Jimmie Johnson leading and 8 laps to go in stage 2 at Sonoma. Daniel Suarez getting a rude introduction to Sonoma. He just had a snap spin, grabbed a gear, and got going again.
I think he might have got a little help. Just a little bit.
Billy Johnson.
Yep. Denny Hamlin takes evasive action. So does Joey Logano.
Yeah. Denny was down the inside, maybe going to make a move on Billy Johnson. See the damage on the nose of Billy Johnson from that contact.
Suarez was 10th. He recovers in 21st.
Other than aerodynamically messing the front of the car up, it's not in the grill area. That's in the hood area.
How about the aerodynamics on this 18 and Kyle Busch running way at the back of the field?
Well, this happened when A.J. Allmendinger spun. He plowed into the back of David Reagan.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, you see that.
So they all start to check up behind the 42 because they're going to get into the 47, and makes pretty significant.
I guess Kyle said on the radio he didn't know that Allmendinger had spun.
Yeah, where that damage is on the 43 and the 18, it won't hurt the cooling at all because it's above the grill. Right. It might hurt the aerodynamics of the car a little bit, but that's not, it doesn't do you in anyway.
Well, I don't know if that answers the question why the 18 and Kyle Busch is so far behind the rest of the field.
I think it's strategy.
I look forward to seeing how that one comes out.
I know how I hope it is.
He is. Kyle Busch right now is the last car running, 38 seconds behind the leader. Now Brad Keselowski has a bit of damage from earlier, but keeps moving forward. He's up to 4th now, behind Matt Kenseth. Leader Jimmie Johnson 2.5 seconds ahead of Harvick. Kenseth 5 back. Keselowski 6 seconds back. Matt?
Mike, a number of trade secrets sprinkled throughout the field, and for Brad Keselowski, due to the extreme wear and tear on the right palm shifting here at Sonoma, Watkins Glen, and Pocono, he wears a baseball-type glove. You can see the 3 different pads on pressure points just to try to save the wear and tear on that palm.
This just shows you how technology's come along. I used to just wrap it with tape. Now they've got some pretty cool gloves out there you can wear.
Yeah, I remember when we had the H pattern on the shifter knob. That thing would eat your hand up. We finally figured out make a slick knob. It helped a little bit.
Hey guys, the window is open. We may see a lot of drivers hitting pit road here now, because especially if you're outside the top 10. There's McMurray and Kurt Busch now, and they're inside the top 10. The window is open. Pit road will be closed next time by.
Setting themselves up for stage 3, coming onto pit road. McMurray, Kurt Busch. Chris?
Yeah, we see Danica Patrick coming to pit lane, still dealing with that damage a little bit. She has told the team that you need to pound that hood down. I'm having a little bit of tough time seeing over the ripple in the hood, which is making it tough to see the curbs out here.
That, and when you come up over turn 3, they're headed for turn 4. That's a blind spot anyway. You got the hood bucked up in front of your eyes and you can't see down that hill. That's a problem.
Jamie
McMurray driving the same car he raced here last year. It's been good too. The balance has been solid. They made a slight air pressure adjustment there and a 4-tire stop.
Very Kyle Busch staying out and not really at speed, but not off the pace either. Tire conservation mode?
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine the damage has him running that slow, and we heard that radio transmission, so it wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Road section 5, 14 too fast on pit road, section 5.
Boyer?
Closed.
Matt?
And Kevin Harvick's team up on the wall waiting for that 4 car to hit pit road. Eric Maycroft and Daniel Smith, the changers, they're ready to go to work. Stan Doolittle, the big jackman, ready to get that right side up. Harvick finally says the balance is shifted to the free side on the right-hander. So air pressure adjustment on the 4 to try to fix that. Chris?
Martin Truex Jr. back in pit lane, was just out there for about 7 or 8 laps since their last stop, but problems up on the right front corner, having a tough time changing that tire up there. Now finally working their way over to the left side of the car. Lots of problems on this stop, guys.
Had a problem on the last stop the front tire changer did, getting that right front off, and had the same thing again.
Whatever they have going on, the suspension and the shocks, it holds those front tires so far up inside the fenders, they can't get them out of the fender well.
That's why we have that piece of tape on the steering wheel, Mike, is to keep that wheel straight so that we can get these tires out. He may have that off a little bit, or it's just like Jeff said, he didn't drop down far enough.
I watched when they raised the left side up, that left front tire never moved. It was still up inside the fender well.
Unbelievable.
Guys, remember, we saw that in practice. Even when he would go across the rumble strips and the car would get up in the air, those front tires never moved in the wheel opening.
Well, that gives Jimmie Johnson a lead of 6 seconds over Brad Keselowski, rounded off. Matt Kenseth another half second, almost a full second back.
Mike, what's funny about a lead like that? You kind of slow down, save tires, save fuel. You go faster. it amazes you sometimes, but you try not trying so hard, actually run better lap times.
10 spots, 10 points available in stage 2. And right now, Ryan Newman in 10th. On the right of your screen, Kyle Larson trying to take it away.
Now, Mike, you get that body damage like we've seen a couple of cars, 18 and then some of the others. You have to adjust your driving style. Maybe it made the car push a little bit more and do something that it wasn't doing before, and you kind of adjust to that, and then you pick speed back up.
Kyle Larson, thought he was going to try the cross under there. At 7, keeping close tabs on Newman as race leader Jimmie Johnson hits for turn 11.
Well, I think he's answered the question. How good is their car? How good is Jimmie Johnson? Yep. Well, he's had no problem maintaining this lead.
Final corner of stage 2 in Sonoma. And Jimmie Johnson gets the green and white checkered tablecloth. Brad Keselowski second. And Larson gets Newman, or does he?
Drag race.
No, he doesn't.
He didn't make it.
Newman doesn't give up easy.
Final stage point, Ryan Newman.
You might have 4 tires, but I'm Ryan Newman.
Jimmie Johnson has won 3 races this year, but this is his first mid-race stage win of the season. NASCAR Heat 2 is coming September 12th, featuring Kyle Busch on the cover. Pre-orders open July 10th. The pits are open as we end stage 2. 4 of the top 6 were not even in the top 25 at the end of stage 1. Johnson, Keselowski, Kenseth, and Earnhardt, who's made a nice recovery, up to 6th after being involved in that crash at lap 31. So has Kyle Larson up into the top 11 after being involved in that same incident.
I got bad news for them. They're going to go back to about 15th or 20th after this pit stop.
Let's go to Matt.
And Jimmie Johnson and Brad Keselowski 1-2 hitting pit road. Keselowski says the car is just too free to try to take care of the rear tires, just trying to nurse it. The left-handers are much worse. Air pressure change on the 2. Meanwhile, the 48, Johnson says he just loses grip as the run goes on. He tried the track bar adjuster, did not help. Jamie?
This is the only track in NASCAR. Matt Kenseth does not have a top 5. He's been running top 5 so far today, so don't mess with him much, little loose in the S. Is a 4-tire stop.
Here's the race off pit road, fueled by Sunoco. Johnson, Keselowski. And a tip of the hat to Sunoco CEO Bob Owens, who has announced he'll retire at the end of this year. He's been a great leader, brought Sunoco into NASCAR as the official fuel.
What do you say we dial up our stage winner there, Jimmie Johnson? Hey, Jimmy, this is Jeff. Buddy, we're not used to seeing you win stages. We're used to seeing you win races. What's going on out there? You're looking pretty good.
Yeah, we got a green flag for once, so that's cool. Just glad to be in a good rhythm. I've been searching a little bit since we got here Friday. And I had a tough Friday, tough Saturday, but man, Sunday's looking pretty good.
Well, tell me about this pit strategy. I mean, we're seeing it flip around so much. How difficult is that for you guys as a team to deal with?
I don't know how it's going to play out in the end. I mean, it's fun to pass cars. It's fun to have varying strategies on the track. I just hope our strategy puts us with the best tires towards the front there at the end. I definitely think this low Chevy's fast enough to win. We'll just see how this baby unfolds.
All right, man. Well, it's been fun to watch. Good luck the rest of the way. Good luck on this restart.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Cole Witt had a tire violation on his stop, and Clint Boyer will now serve his penalty for being too fast on pit road. From the city by the bay, you cross the Golden Gate Bridge, come up the 101, take a right on 37, hug the coastline all the way to Sears Point and Sonoma Raceway, down to the eBay Motors pit box and Matt.
Now, Mike, here at Sonoma, this may be the most challenging place for the Goodyear tire engineers to come up with a tire. Now, all 4 corners run the same tire code, but this is where it gets a little bit dicey because of the extreme braking, but also the extreme acceleration to try to keep the tire together. Now, when they have the splice right here, which is what they marry together in the tire mold, they change it. Basically, they've got the right front and left rear is run on the same corners. That way, under extreme braking and the acceleration, this splice does not come apart. It really doesn't make it vulnerable. And by the way, if I could add, let's do a little happy 80th to my hero, the King, in about another week.
Richard Petty. And we're going to celebrate Wednesday evening on Race Hub, special edition. Happy birthday party. A lot of surprise guests for Richard Petty. He's not watching TV right now, so yeah. So you don't have to tell him Jimmie Johnson's going to be there, right?
Y'all know him as the King. I know him as Mr. the King.
On the restart, Denny Hamlin and Dale Earnhardt Jr., the first 7 cars pitted at lap 39. There's Junior's day after the spin out caused a downward spike in that graph. Austin Dillon, Ryan Newman, teammates in row 2, then Larson and Kane, Kyle Busch and Harvick, Kurt Busch and McMurray, the top 10. They round the slowest corner in NASCAR and head for the Geico restart zone.
And where's Jimmie Johnson? 22nd. Be fun to watch.
Quite a launch by Hamlin.
By the way, Martin Truex restarts 16th, our stage 1 winner. Here comes Casey Kane on the outside in that new blue paint job.
Don't count out Casey Kane. He has a win here at Sonoma. Oh, Larson hangs the back end out.
3 wide, Kyle Busch to the inside.
This
on Larson.
This could be really big.
About ran out of rumble strip.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, man, Larson got sideways.
Oh, contact between Larson and the 18 of Busch.
Remember, we thought there was something wrong with that 18 car there at the end of that second stage. He was way, way back, but look where he is now.
Biding his time.
What a great comeback here of Dale Earnhardt Jr. after that spin earlier, contact. We saw earlier this race he has a good long-run car, so these older tires, he might be able to still maintain and show some good speed here, get back on track with that strategy.
There's another look at Kyle Busch way on the inside. They went in there 3 wide.
You see Larson right there, Mike. He steps out. The back comes around. Here he comes.
Watch
that 18
contact.
car.
Pretty heavy contact to the right front of Larson, left rear of the 18.
That was wham bam by.
Remember those feelings we were talking about?
Yeah.
Hope you don't have them out there on your sleeve right now.
Our Visor Cam run along with Danica Patrick.
I love that though. Hit the rev, rev it up, catch a gear.
That's David Reagan just ahead. She passed Trevor Bayne a lap ago, so she gained a couple spots since this restart. Top 20. Watch Dale Jr. at turn 4.
Yeah, he's been really loose off of this corner. Oh yeah. That's a nice recovery.
Folks, that's really loose.
You see something that Denny Hamlin did right there, and he does this so well, that get drive off corners. And one of the ways he does that is points it straight up off the corner and drives nice and hard and straight, and has that car squat to the rear. Jamie?
And I talked to Denny's crew chief this morning, Mike Wheeler, and he said we were down on speed on Friday. In fact, in happy hour, they were 27th on the board, and he said our setup is very similar to a year ago. We're just hoping that Denny does what he does, and that's race better than practice. That's what we're seeing now.
Well, last year, Hamlin was almost perfect on the road courses. Second here, a winner at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, well, he said that he felt like after qualifying, even he said, I really think our road course car is right where we want it to be. I think we're going to race really well, and right now he's racing really well.
Matt?
Mike, just goes to show you strategy will keep you in the ballgame. Now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has 2 shots left to score a road course win in his Cup career. He's running second. Junior said the car just real tight and slow down in turn 11, loose everywhere else. He also told Greg Ives, just one note for your notes for next year, don't bring this front end settings back. It's no good.
Yeah, well, we can document the loose part.
Now, during our pre-race, Dale Jr. said next year he's retiring from full-time driving, but he might do a couple of one-offs. I wonder if some team might bring him to Sonoma as a road course ringer.
Yeah, I mean, he talked about the Daytona 500, but hey, the last 3 races, who's been the best on the road courses? Dale Earnhardt Jr. Why not bring him back to a road course?
Well, we know he's going to run some Xfinity races next year, and then of course he basically said today, I might be. Whoa, that thing is bad.
He's just loose getting into the corner.
But he said he might be interested in running the 500 again, and rightfully so.
His last lap was quicker than Denny Hamlin's by a tenth or so. We're going to go back to last restart, take a look at how A.J. Allmendinger's spotter, Coleman Presley, third-generation driver himself, helped him worry less with our Liberty Mutual Insurance spotter coverage.
Still there. 48's got it covered here by 1. 48's got it covered. 1 back here, lane the 2. Half, both lanes, 48's right side, left side over here. 22's covered in tight behind the 48. Half back to the 22 behind the 48.
I guess covered means he's there and he's not going away.
No, and that Presley family, they've been around this sport for a long time, all the way back to Bob Presley.
One thing I noticed there, he's calmed down a lot on those restarts since earlier in this race.
He's going to run out of fenders if he doesn't.
So right now, the first 7 cars all pitted at lap 39. The next 14 cars all pitted lap 46, 47. Jimmie Johnson restarted 22nd. He has not advanced at all after pitting on lap 52, nor have any of the drivers who pitted with him. They're all still running at the back of the field for now.
And then we heard Martin Truex say in our pre-race show, you know, you can have a fast car, you can do everything right, and then choose the wrong strategy and end up 30th.
Well, now it's the long game. Right now it's tires and fuel are going to matter. If this thing goes green the whole way, the 48, some of those that came that last time are in a great position, but we all know this thing going green all the way, very unlikely.
Now they're shifting these cars with manual transmission. Just ignore that clutch pedal, just like the drivers do.
Yeah, and also watch his left foot here. That little tap, all that is security. He taps that pedal to be sure that pedal is right where he wants it to be when he applies the brake hard. A lot of older drivers, experienced drivers, they do that because at some point in time in his career, those brakes were not there. So he wants to be sure it's there.
Yeah, it kind of gets those pads up on the rotor and then gives you that nice solid brake pedal when you do go heavy onto the brakes, especially like we saw him going into turn 11.
Tap.
Denny Hamlin leading Dale Jr. by 1 second. Austin Dillon by 4 with 51 laps to go.
Nice.
49 laps to go. Denny Hamlin with a slim lead over teammate Kyle Busch. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Kevin Harvick, and Kurt Busch are the top 5. Let's have a look at today's Credit One Bank ones to watch.
Well, we saw Mart Truex Jr. win this race in 2013. We also saw him win stage 1 today. He's off sequence right now, but he is moving up through the field. As that track temp is getting hotter, the handling of Mart Truex Jr. is going to pay off. He goes on to get the win.
Well, Jeff, no matter who we pick, just think about this. All 37 drivers out there still have to make one more trip to pit road, but I still think Kyle Larson at 42 is a player in this race.
Look, I know my guy won Watkins Glen. I know my guy almost won this race last year, but Denny Hamlin, I love his average finish over the last couple of races. Denny Hamlin takes her to victory circle today.
Hey, remember earlier in the day when you said, where did Jimmie Johnson come from? Get ready to say that again. He pitted, he stayed back in the 20s, saving his tires. Now he's on the move. Jimmie Johnson makes his way all the way to the front and wins today, boys.
Third place Kevin Harvick has not won yet this year. So yesterday he took a busman's holiday and drove in the K&N race. He won it. Why not a weekend sweep for Happy Harvick? And just as we say that, Kevin Harvick goes for second on Denny Hamlin.
You've had a pretty good average this year of picking winners.
I'm in the lead, aren't I?
Well, and you complain about going last, but
yeah,
it seems to work out pretty good
I get
for
to
you.
pick last, but it's fine with me. Yep.
Well, let's remember, too, Harvick has about 8 or 9 laps fresher tires than those he's racing around, except for, look who's coming into the picture, Mart Truex Jr. Much fresher tires and a very fast race car. He's going to be up there before we know it.
Boy, just think where he would be if they didn't have all that trouble in the pits. I mean, they've lost time in the pits the last 2 times in.
Here comes Truex, Chris.
And Darrell, I just checked on that with Cole Pern about that stop at lap 48, and he said we just had damage on that right front that we needed to fix. I wanted to fix it earlier in the race so we can have faster stops later in the race. I said, did you get it all fixed? He said, I think so.
We'll find out.
One thing he doesn't have to fix is the race car because it is super fast on the track.
We're going to share a Coke and share a ride with Danica Patrick. And our thanks to the fellows at BSI and the folks at Stewart Haas Racing for Danica Patrick and her willingness to carry our Fox Visor Cam. And especially to Kyle Anderson, the interior specialist for Danica.
Yeah, you know, we saw her get serious damage earlier with her and Stenhouse, but she has persevered and pressed on pretty good.
Good as it gets right there.
Looks to me like that 18 was pretty wise on his little tire conservation move that he ran in the last stage.
Oh, a little contact between Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch. Oh, Kyle's going to let him go.
Yeah, he has to.
Harvick has 9 lap fresher tires than either Kyle Busch or Denny Hamlin.
Well, and we've seen tire conservation by the 18 of Kyle Busch just play out perfectly. I never thought we'd see him leading this race now in second place, but whatever he was doing, whatever strategy or they have going on, it certainly has paid off so far.
Yeah, if you don't go very fast, you don't hurt your tires very bad, and that's what he was doing.
.46 laps to go. Fourth place Kurt Busch locks him up.
With Michael Waltrip, Chris Myers live from Sonoma, time for an eBay Motors race break at a battle for the lead. Martin Truex Jr., who's led the most laps today, trying to catch up with Kevin Harvick.
You remember the troubles on pit road for the Truex car. Will that come back to haunt them when they make that next stop? That'll be interesting to see. Did the team get it squared away?
And Harvick 0 for 16 in his career at Sonoma. Just one of 4 tracks that he's winless at, and of course has yet to win this year in a battle with Truex for the top spot. How about Dale Earnhardt Jr. having to overcome problems just like Truex did with that pit stop, and Jr. looking for that first win of the year, hanging in the top 10.
Well, Truex has all the way overcome his problems, taking the lead there from Harvick. But see the damage on Jr.'s car, but he's very competitive, running inside the top 10. He's on the oldest tires in the top 10 right now, Chris, so he's looking forward to that next stop, get some fresh tires and try to battle these boys.
And Jimmie Johnson, who's led the second most laps, signed that contract extension through 2020. His next win ties him with Bobby Allison and Darrell Waltrip at 84 on the all-time list. And his crew chief had the laptop stolen with all the notes. It doesn't seem to have a negative impact.
No, everything is positive for this car right now because it's a good long-run car. And we know how important it is to take care of your tires. That's how Jimmie Johnson snuck into the picture earlier, and that's how he'll do it here at the end.
And Kyle Busch passed for the final lead change in 5 of the last 12 races, including the last 2, and he's a guy who has had success at Sonoma before.
His tires have 10 more laps on them than the leaders, and remember, he was conserving those tires under the last run. He'll get to pit road and be competitive with his 18 car when he gets on the same tire strategy as the rest of the field.
And back to Kevin Harvick with Stewart Haas switching to Ford. Harvick has yet to win already. He had wins at this point in 4 previous seasons. Let's check in with how he's doing with Matt Yoakum.
Chris, a year ago, Kevin Harvick limped out of Sonoma with a 6th-place finish, but also half-dollar side blisters on his heels. He had to raise his legs off the floorboard, which kept burning his feet. That gave him cramps in his legs and in his hips. So this year, the team drilled holes in the false bottom of the floorboard. They've got a fan that blows on the feet, but there's also another fan that sucks the hot air out from underneath the floor, just trying to help any way they can in driver comfort.
Thanks, Matt. 42 to go. Truex pulling out a lead of almost 1 second over Kevin Harvick. Kyle Busch 4.5 back as Dale Jr.'s on pit road.
Yeah, Mike, Truex in a league of his own right now. He is just in a league of his own.
Now Kyle Larson was giving up spots. He also comes to pit road. Larry?
Yeah, the window is open, and I felt like some of these guys on older tires were going to be pitting somewhere between 40 and 45 to go because you can make it to the end. So they wanted to get in there, and then hopefully, Jamie, a caution comes out, and they're sitting out there on fresh tires.
Exactly, and Kyle Larson, his car, the handling has just gone away. He had those 2 incidents with damage in the rear end, both sides. He said he's lacking drive off, and it's getting tight on him. So a 4-tire stop, they've been using air pressure to try to help that balance.
Now the other drivers on the same cycle that are in the top 20, Kyle Busch in 3rd, Denny Hamlin in 6th, Austin Dillon in 8th, and Ryan Newman in 14th.
Yeah, 18 just hit pit road.
Again, easy to pit here under green without losing a lap.
Yeah, to me, this is all about when is that caution, if it's going to come out, because, boy, you want it to happen right now if you're the 18 car.
Jamie?
Well, you guys mentioned Kevin Harvick hasn't won yet this year. Well, here's another hungry driver who hasn't won in almost an entire year. Kyle Busch. The handling of this car has been good today. It's been an eventful one. He's driven from the back to the front, a 4-tire stop.
The last time Kyle Busch had a 30-plus race winless streak, it ended here. Ryan Newman in, Michael McDowell, Chris Buescher, Matt Kenseth. All on similar strategy.
I just think this is a long way to go under green on these tires. These tires fall off so much that they're going to gain a lot right now, but they're going to be losing so much. They're going to have to pit again if that caution comes out for sure.
So now the only driver out there who is still on lap 39 tires is Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, and just we don't have a lot of full course yellows. I mean, you can have cars run off the track, kick up a lot of dust, but I mean, it takes some pretty serious damage on cars to get parts and pieces to cause a full course yellow.
Matt?
Johnson, last one here in 2010. 4-tire change on the 48, pulling a tear off, trying to get that off the windshield for better visibility on this serpentine road course. A lot of dust in the air. No chassis adjustments for Johnson. He was working the track bar adjuster earlier, waiting for the lugs to go on there. A little bit slow. The 14 is away as well.
A little bit of trouble indexing those front tires on the 48 pit stop.
Paul Menard finishes up his stop. He's gone. Daniel Suarez in and out. Eric Jones is in. I'm impressed with Denny Hamlin. He's got the oldest tires of anybody out there, but he's in 5th, and there's no urgency to pit him since he has 3 or 4 seconds on the next car in line, which would be Joey Logano in 6th.
Yeah, he's about a second off our leader right now, but like you said, it really doesn't matter that much at this point.
The leader is in. Martin Truex comes to pit road. He's had the same tires since lap 48, so that's 22 laps on those. Kevin Harvick right in with him.
They're running pretty close together on the racetrack, first and second.
Yeah, Martin Truex Jr., this car is so strong. The only issues today have been in pit lane, so interesting watching this right front. Looks like a little bit slow on that right front still, but nothing like that last stop. The team already working on the left side now. Matt.
Kevin Harvick is in the 4 car. Meanwhile, the 47 should be coming soon with Allmendinger. He's a little bit more forward drive on exit of the corners. Other than that, the car has been pretty solid all day. Looking for his first win here at Sonoma, Jamie.
1 year ago, this was the race that got away from Denny Hamlin. One of the most exciting finishes, but he said, I want redemption. I want to get it. You've seen that wedge adjustment. We haven't seen many of those today. 21 as well. Back to you, Matt.
A great drive from the back to the front for his wounded 47, A.J. Allmendinger. The biggest thing has been crew chief Ernie Koch mentally keeping A.J. in the game, telling him we are not done. Strategy will get us back to the front.
Kurt Busch also stopped at lap 71, and Ryan Blaney. Jamie McMurray is the new leader.
A lot of times the crew chief has to be a salesman. He's got to pump that driver up and keep him in the game, because anything can happen in this race. Still a long way to go, 39 laps.
McMurray has a 4-second lead as teammates battle for second place. Logano and Keselowski. McMurray pits, so this is for the lead. This will cycle Chase Elliott to 3rd and Danica Patrick to 4th. Jamie.
That last run is the best the car has been for Jamie McMurray. No complaints at all with the handling of the one. A 4-tire stop here. Just slight air pressure adjustment was already made just to keep up with the racetrack. But good, they'll pack it full of fuel. Take that tear off so he has clear vision, and he'll be good to the end.
So now the drivers in the top 20 with the oldest tires are Danica Patrick and David Reagan, who both stopped at lap 47.
Mike, I watched the 4 and the 78. The 78 and 4 came on pit road together. The 78 had the lead. When they went back out, the 4 has a big lead over the 78. That's how much difference was in the pit stops.
Yeah, it's all about it. They can get the tire off the right front. They can't get the tire back on to get it secured fast enough to make a good pit stop.
Yeah, and it's just killing them.
A.J. Allmendinger, here's his radio.
I think we got a problem. I'm running out of volts on battery. Another battery ready, guys. All right, start turning all your fans off. Turn all your fans off. Tire blows, everything, turn them all off. It's dropping quick.
He's in 16th place. And remember here, something happens after you pass pit road, you'll never get back.
And you really stress the system out here, the alternator, the battery, because we have so many blowers. Blowers to the drivers, to the brakes, to the tires, to the gear, to the transmission. Lots of blowers in these cars on the road course.
There's a chance the alternator failed. That's what we've been seeing a lot of this year when they start having battery issues like that. Well, how many times this year have we seen, maybe the last couple of years, seen the 2 of Keselowski stretch it out on these green flag runs?
And look at the tire strategy on those first 5 cars. Keselowski and Logano and Chase Elliott all in about the same time. Danica now with the oldest tires of anybody in the top 20. Kevin Harvick at lap 71, the freshest tires.
Well, you heard A.J. Allmendinger just tell his crew chief Ernie Koch that he was down on voltage, and to get another battery ready, let's use our Ford Performance cutaway car to show you where the battery's located. It's right in front of the left rear tire. It has this aluminum door right there with 2 little fasteners, and you have this quick disconnect. So So you can actually probably change a battery out here, even under green, and not lose a lot of ground. You're probably going to go a lap down, but unlike at a short track, you lose several laps. So they'd love to do that under caution.
Thanks, Larry. 6th place, Martin Truex trying to charge his way back toward the front. He's led the most laps today, but Chris Neville.
Well, Mike, that car has been impressive all weekend long, but now problems. Martin talking to him over the radio saying he's got engine problems. Initially, he thought it might be something electrical. They started cycling through the electrics in that car. However, I just checked with Cole Pern. He said the 78, it sounds like it's blowing up.
Yeah, he was almost 2 seconds off the pace of Kevin Harvick ahead of him that last lap.
Yeah,
he's a lot of speed down the straightaway.
Here comes the 18 is eating him up as they go up the hill here into turn 2. Definitely got a problem.
We're not blowing up. We're going to take you double wide with 36 laps to go in Sonoma. .34 laps to go. Brad Keselowski leading. Just let David Reagan pass by on fresh tires. Here's a look at how the Coca-Cola Racing family of drivers is faring. All on the lead lap. Logano in second, Patrick in fourth, Dillon and Hamlin in the top 10. Newman and Suarez 21st.
Think about Danica. She was spun out up in turn 4, got run into by Ricky Stenhouse, and here she is running fourth.
Now Martin Truex and Cole Pern thought their engine was blowing up, but now he's as fast as anybody.
You're still second fastest car. I had to figure out how to drive it with no power. Took me a lap. And following that, you know, Harvick ran a 78.64. Bush behind you is 77.87.
And that's what I saw. The 18 car caught. He was almost up to Martin Truex. All of a sudden, Martin just took off and left the 18 in the dust again. So he's back up to running at pretty decent speed.
This is one of those tracks where power can be your enemy on a lot of parts of this racetrack. Wheel spin and trying to get traction, leaving the corner is so difficult. Having less power can actually be your friend. It's just the straightaways in turn 9 and at the start-finish line that it hurts you.
Just one around Danica.
Let's have a look at how Brandon Benash, Danica's spotter, helped her worry less with Liberty Mutual Insurance spotter coverage.
Side by side there. Still there at your corner. Right at your quarter. Still there, side by side. Still there, 77 on your left. Still there.
1047 on your bumper. Still left side 77.
Boy, this must be an incredibly difficult place to spot with all the elevation change and the distance that those spotters up by the water tower are from the cars at some points on this track.
When you heard a key component there on your left, on your right, not inside or outside, that's what they normally do on an oval, but not on a road course.
Good point. Larry?
Guys, when I look at our leaders, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, and Chase Elliott, I think what their crew chiefs have decided to do, remember, they pitted about lap 52. We went back racing with 56 to go. I think they're splitting this final stage in half. So I think what you'll see is when you see this roughly 28 to 30 to go somewhere in that neighborhood, I think that's when they'll be on pit road. Remember, Brad Keselowski working with interim crew chief Brian Wilson. Paul Wolf and his wife Aaliyah had a baby girl just a few days ago.
Congratulations to them. And here's what will happen when that plays out. The first three cars, Keselowski, Logano, and Elliott, got tires at lap 52 or 3. Everyone behind them got tires at lap 71 or 70, except Danica Patrick in 8th place. She's been on the same tires since lap 47. So those pit stops under green should hand the lead back to Kevin Harvick, ahead of Martin Truex and Kyle Busch.
Yeah, and you know what I like about that 2 car? They didn't waste a bunch of time trying to fix that left front damage. They just stayed with it, and it's helped them.
I really thought that Jimmie Johnson was going to be on that same strategy, but he decided they changed it up and came earlier.
Martin Truex, our leading Toyota top performer there in 5th, with Kyle Busch 6th and Denny Hamlin 9th. Now, Jimmie Johnson restarted back in 22nd and passing cars and other cars making pit stops. Now he's fought his way up into the top 10.
I believe we said in our pre-race show, if I remember correctly, that there were some contrarians that would try some different strategy. And Paul Wolf and that crowd, the two crowd, they do this a lot. We've seen them try fuel mileage and different strategy than everybody else, and sometimes it pays off.
And you know, because they tried so often, DW, I gotta believe they've got some software. They have some conversations about how this is not as risky as we think that it is.
Well, the darndest thing I ever saw Keselowski do was kick his car out of gear at I think it was Kansas and coast into the corner and then then crank up and go again.
Well, now his tires are 19 laps older than Kevin Harvick's. And we'll have a look at how much time he is giving up to those cars that are on fresher tires, like Denny Hamlin. And right now it's about 1.6 seconds per lap that Keselowski, the race leader, is slower than the cars who got tires at lap 71. There's a comparison. Harvick with a lot of time to make up, but 1.5 seconds per lap faster than the leader, who will have to make a pit stop.
Yeah, you see Joey Logano, he's on pit road, but when I think about his teammate, Brad Keselowski, let's go to Jamie, and then I'll add on Brad when she's finished.
And Joey Logano, Larry, his car has been good. It's gotten better as the run has gone on, found better speed. They haven't had to adjust on it much. Drive off good as well. They're calling for a 4-tire stop here. They already made that air pressure adjustment. Todd Gordon on top of the box, counting him down. Hopefully it's a good stop for this team. They've been good today, Larry. Let's continue to watch them as they work on the right side.
All right, back to Brad Keselowski and the 2 cars, crew chief Brian Wilson. They know if this thing stays green, this strategy is probably not going to work. They can actually go to 16 to go on fuel up here. So if he drags this thing out and we get a caution, he knows he has to pit, but he's probably going to drag a lot of drivers with him, considering how much the pace has fallen off. So we could see a couple different things happening here.
Yeah, Larry has such a huge lead right now. He's he's going into turn 10 right now. Second place car is just now coming through the S's.
So Keselowski could run another 14 laps hoping for a caution flag. His teammate, Joey Logano, too fast on pit road.
Bad news.
You know, I think back several years ago on road courses, we ran this about fuel mileage. But the drop-off in speed, especially with less downforce on the cars the last couple of years, it has fallen off 3 seconds or more from the beginning of a run. Now it's a tire war. It's a tire battle for strategy, not as much of a fuel battle.
Chase Elliott, the last of the drivers other than Keselowski to pit back around lap 50, Matt.
And Chase Elliott, the 24 on pit road, really showing a lot of poise and confidence after wrecking his primary car in practice. The backup car, an old Jeff Gordon car, updated to 2017 specs. Balance-wise, the car just seems to have gotten a lot better the second half of this race. No chassis adjustments on the 24. Everyone just trying to get more grip on exit.
Nice pit stop there for the 2014.
And it's not unusual, Mike. Road race cars are kind of one-offs. It's not unusual to update them and keep the same chassis and run it for quite a while. They only run them a couple times a year, so they don't wear out.
Yeah, because you turn left and right, those chassis are quite a bit different at a road course, so they can last. If you don't crash that car, you can do slight things to update that car, just put a new body on it.
So Joey Logano was able to make his pit stop and do his drive-through penalty and remain on the lead lap with 29 to go.
I want to give a shout out to Austin Dillon today. We've seen him struggle this weekend off the racetrack, locking up tires, but he's done a phenomenal job today.
8th place for Dillon. And how about our leader, Matt? His Keselowski's lead is now shrunk to less than 10 seconds.
Never scored a top 5 finish here at Sonoma. Really, statistically, his worst racetrack. Brian Wilson, great depth off the bench. He has a second, third, and fourth filling in for Paul Wolfe. Moments ago, discussing strategy and fuel mileage with his driver.
I'm 2 pages over on your gas. That'll be fuel pressure. This pace is good right now. Harvick should catch us right when we're running out. Pages up, copy.
He can go about 12 more laps, Larry believes, before he has to come in for fuel. Staying out, hoping for a caution?
Hoping for a caution.
I just love that, though. The crew chief, the driver, they're on the same page. They know what their plan is here. They know what they want to do, and they're communicating well, and they're going to be able to do what they'll pull it off.
Remember what he told Michael in pre-race? We don't have the best car, but we have a plan.
Work the plan. Trust the plan, work the plan.
Hard to plan when a caution's going to come out unless it's the end of a stage.
That would be plan B.
How's that working out for you?
Plan B is only as good as your plan A.
That's right. 8.5 seconds. Kevin Harvick now is really eating into Keselowski's lead.
Now, I will say the last couple laps, as we run here, those tires start to fall off and lose grip for Kevin Harvick, and it starts to even out a little bit more, even though he's still faster than the 2, but not quite as much as he was about 8 laps ago.
Long way from Keselowski back to that 4 car, though.
But Harvick has plenty of time with 27 laps to go and 19 lap fresher tires.
You can see the 2 car. He comes off turn 4 across the chute. Where'd the 2 go? He's in the S's. That's a lot of distance.
Mart Truex Jr. still hanging in tough with less power, having that engine issue in 3rd place.
I think his last lap was only a 1/10 of a second slower than Harvick.
But I just think that's how good that car is. That car it's the best handling car I've seen here at this road course in quite some time, particularly through the S's.
I loved his comments. I needed some time to learn how to drive this car with the power issues. That just tells me you can't pick up the throttle in the same location you could before when you had full power. You had to go to the wide open really early to utilize all the grip that you have, and then know that you're going to not have that top speed.
Chris?
Well, Mike, just listening to Martin Truex Jr., he's definitely still concerned about that engine. He said he's just not turning the RPM. He doesn't have that top end that he did earlier. And he said, guys, I hope this thing stays green. If we go caution, I'm just going to get eaten up.
Well, he had just passed Trevor Bayne and Josh Bilicki going down into 11. Bayne repassed him at turn 1.
Yeah, my gauge has been the 18 car. The 18 car is right behind him. And when Martin started having that trouble, 18 was right on his bumper. Then all of a sudden, Martin figured it out, and he drove off and left the 18 behind.
Yeah, and the 6 car has a little bit fresher tires. He came in about 6-7 laps later than Martin Truex Jr. So that's some of it also. The one he worries about is that 18 behind him and the 4 right here of Kevin Harvick in front of him.
We'll see how it plays out over the next 26 laps as we take you double wide. You're watching NASCAR on FS1. Here's your Busch race summary after 86 laps, 31 cars on the lead lap, including leader Brad Keselowski. Here he comes, and here is Kevin Harvick right behind him. 10 leaders, 12 lead changes, 5 caution flags for 12 laps. Martin Truex and Jimmie Johnson are our stage winners, but Truex just came out of his pit box and a lot of smoke. I think
turning behind the
could
wall.
Could be making that left turn behind the wall.
Yeah, he came in.
He's out of power.
They opened the hood, and then he started out.
Is this going to bring out a caution? No, he's backing up. Okay.
Used to be able to turn left at the end of pit road. There's now a fence there.
Oh.
Brad Keselowski has not been to pit road, Larry, in the last 35 laps. We've got 23 to go.
Yeah, and we know that everybody can make it to the end from here except for Brad Keselowski. And here's the numbers. They pitted with 58 laps to go. They went back racing with 56 to go. Remember, the fuel window is about 36 to 42 laps. So should he still keep going here, he can go somewhere around probably 14 to 18 laps to go. He's going to lose the lead in the next lap. So why are they doing this? If the caution comes before he pits, we've run far enough that probably everybody's going to come to pit road. So that's the strategy with Brian Wilson and Brad Keselowski.
I like it.
How about the Toyotas third and fourth? Jamie.
Well, Kyle Busch pitted on lap 69. Now, Ben Bayshore is his interim crew chief. He told me this morning the max they can run is 40 laps. I just tapped on his foot, and he looked at me and said, we are close. We need to save all we can. Right now, if he makes it to the end, it would be 41 laps. Meanwhile, his teammate, Denny Hamlin in the 11, Mike Wheeler, he just gave me a thumbs up, said we are good, and we are good plus 2 laps if we need to go into overtime.
Well, we saw Kyle Busch save tires. Now we got to see if he can save fuel.
Kurt Busch in 5th. He pitted at lap 71, so he has among the freshest tires out there. He's 11 seconds back, and in 6th, 13.5 back, Jimmie Johnson. For the lead, Kevin Harvick takes it from Keselowski. He ran him down quickly once he got within sight.
He didn't take it from him. I think Keselowski just moved over and gave it to him. He said, I know you're better than I am, and I'm just struggling along here, pal.
I think Keselowski's just going to run this thing till it almost runs out of fuel and then hit pit road.
Yeah, he's made it. That's what they have to do now. I pretty much stuck with what they got.
Not much of a fight you can put up. When the tires are that old, there's so little grip, you can barely get into the braking zone, let alone fight off somebody trying to pass you.
And Martin Truex climbs out after leading the most laps today. Chris Buescher's made an extra pit stop, and so has Tommy Regan in the 55.
How many times have we seen this year where the driver that's led the most laps has not gone on to win the race?
I think only 4 times so far that the guy that's led the most laps has won the race. That was one last week when the 42 car did that.
That's amazing.
And the lap leaders today with Kevin Harvick.
What's amazing,
just leading his 3rd lap of the day.
What's amazing, Mike, is the number of laps that the winners of some of our races have led. I think back to Daytona, our very first race. Kurt Busch led 1 lap.
Well, we're setting records today. The cycling of strategies with stage racing may be having a lot to do with that. Chris Neville?
Well, down in the garage with Martin Truex Jr. And Martin, I know you feel like you could have won 5, maybe 6 races this year. When you have a car that's this impressive, how disappointing is this?
It's very disappointing. I mean, sitting there running second on 7 cylinders and staying right with the leader. I mean, this Toyota was so good today. Everybody at Furniture Row's did an awesome job with it. Everybody back in Denver, thank you guys for just the crazy fast cars. So TRD stuff's been really good, past year and a half, and sometimes these things happen. So appreciate all their effort out there and the TRD and making good power. Just this one wasn't ready to go the whole distance today.
Thanks, Martin.
And Mike, when you're shifting gears like you do here, anything can happen to the engine. You can over-rev it. There's just a lot of things that could happen.
Now, Kurt Busch has moved into 4th and Jimmie Johnson to 5th, Matt.
Mike, he's close to about a second off of the 41 car, has Jimmie Johnson in the 48. Last pitted on lap 70. Chad Canals told him, about 2 laps ago that they are looking at their numbers. They are about a lap and a half to 2 laps short of making it on fuel.
Wow. Clint Boyer back up into the top 10 after an early spin today. Down to the inside goes Lightning McQueen.
Mike, that's why on these road courses, well, any track really, but road course particularly, you don't give up. Strategy is so important, and how that works out. Find yourself in a position just like we see Clint Boyer here running in a 6th spot.
All these crew chiefs, they have trends, just like our crew chief Larry McReynolds does, and they go back through history and see when cautions have fallen, and they plan their strategy in the closing laps of this race based on that. When we heard from Chad Canals saying you're about a lap and a half short, that's because he was banking on some caution laps to happen here at the end of this race.
And what I like, Mike, aerodynamics is not so critical. We saw the 2-car leading this race with the whole left front of the fender and all knocked up in the air. We've seen damage on a lot of these cars, and they still run very fast.
Speaking of trends, the last 10 Sonoma races, the average of the last caution was at lap 96, which is 14 to go, but 5 times in the final 10 laps, and this may not bode well for some of them that are close on fuel, 3 times we went to overtime.
I don't think there's any question, Larry, if we have a late caution and we have double file restarts, we're going to have more cautions. I can assure you that.
Well, to Larry's trend, if it stays green to the checkered flag, it will be the longest finishing green flag streak
clear, brother. Nice work.
ever at Sonoma. Boyer's on the move, Chris.
Yeah, boy, and look at that beat-up car. He just hasn't been in the top 10 much today. But overall, he's been saying the car is still working well, especially on the long run. He's working his way up front right now, even though, obviously, aerodynamics not helping out on that car very much. But it does sound like they might be changing up their strategy. They thought they were good on fuel, but they might be coming.
Well, a number of questions about fuel as we get into the final 20 laps of this race.
Hard savings. All you need to do is just back up your entry just a little bit. Easier on the brakes, easier on your wheel spin for now. So don't try to pass anybody then. Nope, but I don't want anybody to pass us. I mean, if you can run up on them, pass them. So just take it easy and save your stuff. We're not critical until 10 to go.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. But wasn't it last week Lightning McQueen won the race?
Right.
Here's Boyer. He's on the move. Lightning McQueen might strike again.
I think Brad Keselowski's in.
Stewart-Haas Racing has to be pretty happy with the performance they've seen out of their cars today. All of them running very strong.
Yeah, Danica up there, and of course Boyer and Harvick. They've all been good. Kurt Busch is in the hunt.
Matt Kenseth in for his final stop of the day. He's away. Casey Kane finishing up. And Keselowski was coming. He's now to the pit lane. Matt?
And Brad Keselowski making his way down to Brian Wilson and the two team. They've been telling him to try to let off earlier, try to conserve as much as they can to stretch it, hoping for a caution. You can see pull the windshield wiper up to get a clean tear off on the two. Keselowski has never scored a top 5 finish, ironically, here and at Indy, where Roger Penske had so much success over the years. Keselowski trying to zero in on another Penske hero, Mark Donohue. 51 wins for Keselowski. Donohue has 59 as the all-time Team Penske winner.
Kyle Busch is in. Jamie?
And then Visor told me they would be right on it, probably a little short, so Kyle wanted to bring it in. He just said, I have no rear tires. They are junk, no grip. They had an extra set of stickers. Bring it in, fill it up with just enough fuel to make it to the end, guys.
So now the first 9 drivers all pitted lap 68 through 72. So pretty equal tire wear there. They're followed by Chase Elliott in 10th, who has 10 lap pressure tires.
We're just hoping no caution comes out right now for these guys that are out there like Kevin Harvick.
And no speeding penalties on pit road. That's the other big issue.
Harvick's never won a Cup race here or those other 3 tracks. Larry McReynolds
Reynolds, what if the caution were to fly right now? This would be a huge break for Keselowski, wouldn't it? I know he was running out his fuel, but his fresh tires would send everyone else to pit road. He would stay out and grab the lead.
No question. For anybody that's making a stop right now, like Keselowski, like Kyle Busch, Matt Kenseth, Casey Kane, if we did get a caution, they would definitely be sitting in the catbird seat, Michael. So they are now hoping that we do get one.
More fuel discussions, this time with Austin Dillon in 5th place.
Andy, we're right on our number. We feel actually decent, pretty good about it, being able to make it. So we're just going to run this thing until we're just going to run it out.
Well, we know he gets good fuel mileage. Yeah. He's won a race already this year like that.
Just run her out. That's what I do.
Yeah, he won Charlotte on fuel mileage. His teammate Newman won Phoenix on tire mileage.
Yeah,
staying out when others pitted.
You know, guys, one reason I would feel pretty good about the fuel mileage is fuel mileage numbers taken from Friday. We're at a pace that was about a second or two quicker than what they're running right now. When the pace slows down, you're not using as much fuel.
And Larry, you don't shift. If you don't shift as much, you don't turn as many RPM, you burn less fuel. So maybe where you were hitting 3rd gear in turn 10, you just lug it through there in high gear, saves a little fuel.
Dale Jr.'s in, surrendering 6th place to make this stop with 15 laps to go. Matt?
Last pitted on lap 68, the 88 for Dale Earnhardt Jr. A place that he would love to score a win as he winds down his career. Never won on a road course. He felt like last year, Mike, he was much better through the S's. The car was tight early in the race. It's been pretty much loose from midway to now.
Austin Dillon chasing Jimmie Johnson for 4th place.
Well, you heard Chad tell Jimmie, save your stuff. So maybe he's going to let this 3-car go.
Well, if I remember correctly in Charlotte, the 3 was behind the 48, chasing him, ran the 48 out of gas when he went on to win that race. It looks like he wants to do it again.
I think that's why Chad told Jimmie, don't race anybody. Let them buy, save your fuel, save your stuff.
But don't get past either.
All right, so this is our Fox Visor Cam making its debut appearance. Danica Patrick and her team agreed to carry it here. As Kurt Busch goes by, she's trying to make the pass here. And pole sitter Kyle Larson. How close is this view to your view in the race car?
Oh, this is spot on. I mean, it might be just a slight bit higher. You'd maybe be a little bit lower eye view, right where the top of your hands are on the steering wheel. But this is the most amazing view I've seen from inside of the car ever in the history that I've been a part of this sport.
There it is.
That's a cool camera, man. I like that.
I mean, what I like about it is you're seeing what's coming. You see their hands on the steering wheel. You see when their head moves or bounces when they bounce over a curve. You see the shift. You see what's happening on the digital dash also.
You see that thing right there? That's her hose for her cool. That's what we would have had to the camera back when I drove. We'd have had a big cable that you had to run up over your helmet like that to make it work.
Battling Paul Menard for 16th.
And again, I mean, you think about the trouble she was in earlier in the race, and here she's, she's running really well and maintaining pretty well right now. Good job by her.
Matt?
Mike, Kevin Harvick is totally focused on scoring a win. He won Saturday's K&N West race with Fields, a foundation sponsor, on the car earlier in the race, closing in on the end of stage 2. Rodney Childers asked him, do you want to try to play strategy to score the stage win? Harvick said, no, we've got a great car. I only want to focus on going for the win. That's what they've done.
I just think it's not a big deal, but Harvick won yesterday. And I don't care who you are or what series you run. When you win on Saturday, you got a lot more confidence on Sunday.
Oh, somebody off the track.
Off course goes Boris Said.
Just picked up
when you're the leader, that's the last thing you want to see in front of you.
There's Harvick pulling down on the 55-year-old road race ace. I'd list the tracks that Boris has raced on and won on, but it would take longer than we have time left.
That's a great save right there.
But that's not just 2 wheels off.
I mean, as Boris said, does that not look like something he could do? Run off the track like that, not hit anything, come back on? Just a little dust in the wind. That was a hair-raising experience right there.
And what comes along with that is a lot of rocks and dust all over the racetrack.
And as we often say, the leader has to clean the track for everybody, and that's what Kevin Harvick was. Now, Sed is still on the lead lap, despite a couple of off-course excursions and some damage front and rear, with 12 to go. So you got the dirt and the dust, and you've also got the blind entry coming up the hill. You don't know what's on the other side.
No, you don't. And that's why that you have to keep a really tight line through there. And you'll see everybody uses that curb, and you can see some are using more than the curb, and that's basically what's throwing all the rocks and debris and dust to the outside.
Mike, that's why I say there's a couple of places where I want to be really good. Spin, turn up in the trial, up in the S's. Look like a couple of cars around. Kenseth's one of them.
Still coming.
I think Billy Johnson was the other. They spun around up there in the S's, and they both kept going. See right here, real close racing.
Battle between Buescher. Kenseth gets into the side of Billy Johnson. Oh, Johnson makes contact with the left rear of Kenseth, turns him around.
That happened to Kenseth here a few years ago. Him and Clint Boyer made contact in a very similar situation.
Matt thought he had the pass made, but he didn't clear Johnson.
Wasn't quite there.
Right behind them. Whoa, Boris, come back, buddy.
You know, he went out of sight.
Harvick's been getting quite a show from Boris Said.
Harvick said, hey, man.
Yeah, see you later.
I like the show, but I got to go.
Come on, man.
Look at Harvick's front wheels up here. You can tell he's been pushing that brake pedal hard and using a lot of brake, a lot of dust up in those front wheels.
Danica Patrick keeps coming. She's got 19 laps on her tires, but she just passed Cole Witt for 16th. As Harvick now 7.2 ahead of Denny Hamlin.
Mike, you're going to watch this foot cam. It's almost like a replay. It's almost like we've seen this before. Watch, he does the same thing every time. Watch, he'll hit when he gets over here. When he gets down, pat, hit that pedal. Come down here and get a little further downhill. Same thing all over again. Watch him. Pat, hit that pedal. I mean, it's a rhythm. We talk about rhythm, and there's so many things that are rhythm related.
Let's watch as he goes into turn 11. This is the hardest braking. Look how early he was on the brakes. But way early.
Look how far that pedal's going down, too.
Long way. And you saw that little blip in the right pedal, the gas pedal, as he went into those downshifts. Look how late off the corner before he gets wide open.
And he burned his heels here last year, and he's got those booties on the back of his shoes today, which I think can give him a lot of protection over what he had last year. He's working it, man.
All right, Austin Dillon has given up 5th place back to Jimmie Johnson, and Dillon now 6th. Remember, he had a little concern about fuel.
Well, right now I'm watching RCR, and you can see there's their running order right there. 2 of them in the top 10. And to me, they're the measuring stick with 10 to go. Who possibly can make it, because Austin Dillon and Ryan Newman, they're trying to go 41 laps on this tank of fuel. But again, I'm looking at the pace that's over 1 minute 21 seconds. I don't know. If I was their crew chief, I would not be overly concerned unless we get to a overtime situation.
This might cause it here. 11 and 22, or rather 22 and 18 for 11.
Good friends, really good friends.
They've never had any contact or issues.
Well, they're frenemies.
Now, if that was for the lead, that might be a little bit different exchange.
So Joey Logano moving to 11th, and Kevin Harvick coming to 9 laps to go.
9 laps doesn't sound like very much. All this race is about over.
18 miles.
These races get really good when there's about 6 or 7 laps to go. Fuel mileage and every other thing.
This green flag stretch has now gone more than 1 hour. You've seen from the bouncing around how physically demanding this racetrack is.
Well, with each lap that they make as they go into this green flag run, and the tires the air pressure comes up and the grip goes away, every time they go into the corner, there's a bigger chance of making a mistake. There's so little grip in these cars, and you talk about braking and locking up tires, carrying too much speed into the corner, wheel spin off the corner, and there's so many areas to make a mistake that these are stressful times for these drivers.
But I just think about how strong these cars are. I mean, we're going to run 110 laps here, and you've seen them beating the cars. It's up on the curves, it's out in the dirt. I'm sure they probably missed a shift or two, missed a corner or two, but here they are, still going strong right here at the end of this race.
Harvick has backed off a bit. He had all but caught Casey Kane. Last time by was going to put Kane a lap down, but this last lap by Harvick, almost 2 seconds slower than Kane at the tail end of the lead lap.
But he's got such a huge lead. He's got a 9-second lead. He's just trying to milk this thing home.
Well, and it could be just padding a little bit of fuel in case we go to overtime and they stay out.
Clint Boyer's coming. He's got to get past Boris said there. He had a shot at Denny Hamlin, but had to deal with the lapped car and squeeze through there.
Boris said, I might not get to race very much, so I'm going to race everybody.
He's been putting down some great lap times, talking about Clint Boyer, and he has been zeroing in on that 11 of Denny Hamlin ahead of him.
Look at that old car. Look like he's been running in a demolition derby.
It's like a short track, DW. Never count yourself out at these road courses.
You've got to see the figure 8 race in Cars 3.
Yeah.
Boyer's car looks like Lightning McQueen at the end of that race.
Exactly.
This can't be a Sunday drive for Kevin Harvick, even at this point.
No, and certainly not for Denny Hamlin right now. As he's navigating around this road course, he's shifting, he's braking. He's also watching his mirror. He knows Clint Boyer is coming. He wants to know, where is Boyer better than him? Where does he need to protect in case Boyer gets closer?
Hear how much he's coasting? I mean, he's coasting. He's backing off way early, coasting right now, trying to save as much fuel as possible.
Boyer's not coasting. He's coming.
He's there.
Keep saving.
Seven to go. You heard Kevin Harvick's admonishment: keep saving fuel.
We just go back inside of Harvick's car, and he is really coasting.
How about Brad Keselowski after that late stop strategy? Now his tires are 20 laps fresher than anybody else in the top 6. He's up to 4th. Picked up several spots in the last lap.
Any caution comes out right now, this is Brad Keselowski's race.
Well, the 4 car's got to make it on fuel too, and I'm telling you, he's doing everything in his power to save as much as he can.
Well, guys, I've been watching lap times, and there's been some laps where Keselowski was 2.5, maybe close to 3 seconds quicker than Kevin Harvick. He's 21 seconds behind, 7 laps to go. You do the math.
I don't even have to have a trend for that one, Larry.
This is going to be fun before it's over. I think Hamlin Boyer. Now, those of you looking for NHRA drag racing, final round coverage from Norwalk, Ohio, that will begin right here on FS1 after the conclusion of our NASCAR coverage here in Sonoma.
You want to know what it's like to tiptoe around this racetrack? Just right along with Kevin Harvick right here. He is absolutely slowed down to 1:21.62 here, and he is saving some fuel. Listen how long he's out of the throttle.
Now, I'm wondering if they've told him how much they feel like he needs to save, or they're just monitoring each lap.
Oh, off to double spun turn 11.
Running 8th.
He gets going again.
Yeah, it's not going to bring out the caution.
No problem.
Probably not going to lose a lot here because he was running an 8th spot.
Yeah, he's putting such a solid race together.
Back going, he fell in right behind Dale Jr., so he's in 11th spot. He lost a couple of spots. See what happens. He just got in there hot.
Thought he had a chance at Jimmie Johnson, and that hole closed up.
We've been working on him for quite a few laps. Saw an opportunity, and look, see a change for second place. Boyer's gotten by the 11 of Hamlin.
But is still 7.5 behind his teammate Harvick. Let's show you how that happened.
Into turn 7. Oh, looks like Hamlin just overshot the corner. Almost exactly what happened to Tony Stewart a year ago that cost, almost cost him the win and got Hamlin into that lead, but then Hamlin did the same thing in turn 11.
I think when you know somebody's behind you and you're a little bit there, you just don't want to take a chance on cutting in front of them or holding them up. You don't want to get knocked off the track. You got a good finish going here. Don't jeopardize that by doing something really unnecessary.
5 laps to go in Sonoma. Let's remind you of last year's finish where Denny Hamlin got the lead from Tony Stewart up at turn 7. And then they raced that final half a lap. That's Stewart ahead. You're riding with Hamlin.
You see the camera shake. That's from wheel hop. Hamlin got in there a little bit deep. I think Tony was watching and protecting. He knew that move was coming. Moved out of the way, gets back in behind Hamlin, keeps the pressure on him as they come through the S's.
Then what happens?
Well, they go down here at turn 11, and I've talked to Denny about this. In my view, I said, I think you must have been looking back to see where Tony was. He said, no, I wasn't. I actually wheel hopped just for an instant, and it opened the door for Tony to get by.
And Tony Stewart scored his final win in what was then the Sprint Cup Series. Made it into the playoffs based on Sonoma. Here is Kevin Harvick, who has not won a race this year, driving for Tony Stewart, trying to finish these final 5 laps and get his first win of the year.
And the car, the 14 car Boyer's driving, is Stewart's car, and he's running second right now. And this could turn out to be a teammate battle here.
And this is the same chassis that Clint Boyer is driving that Tony won with last year, not including the changes necessary to convert it from a Chevrolet last year to a Ford this year. Eighth place here, Dale Earnhardt Jr., teammate Jimmie Johnson, catching up on Kyle Busch.
You think back to Junior, he had a great car, all practice, qualified well, spun out over here. He and Danica got in a little bit of trouble early in the race. Now look at him, top 10.
And the hottest driver on the circuit, Kyle Larson, who won the pole here. 1 lap down now in 25th, just got lapped by the race leader. He's won 4 races in the last week. 1 in the Monster Energy Cup Series and 3 sprint car races.
Well, he'll be glad when this one's over with, because today not so good.
He and teammate Jamie McMurray started on the front row. McMurray currently 6th for Chip Ganassi.
Got to be disappointing, though, because they start on the front row. You think they're going to be the cars that you're really going to have to beat, and they really, Jamie's done a nice job. He's up at 6th, but Larson not so much.
Clint Boyer is pulled away from Denny Hamlin by 2 seconds. That's 2nd to 3rd. But Boyer still lacks 8.5 seconds to our race leader, Kevin Harvick, who just crossed the line with 3 to go.
I just don't know how Harvick could go any slower. I mean, he is coasting. He just went by here coasting.
He's got a really nice lead. Certainly no lead is safe enough, but he also knows that he needs to make sure he makes it on fuel.
This is getting a little crazy right in here now. These guys are racing hard. 6th, 7th, and 8th place.
They may catch 5th place Chase Elliott.
Yeah, they've got about, what, 15 laps fresher tires.
And what a nice job by Elliott, who had a spin and then a crash, went to a backup car. But there he is, Kyle Busch closing in, but there's Chase in 5th place.
This would be a great confidence booster for Chase Elliott after having all the issues in practice. Road courses have not gone extremely well for him since he's come into the Cup Series. But a day like today, even if he doesn't finish where he's at now, I think will be a big boost for him on future road courses.
He just doesn't want to put up a big fight right there. It's just no way. They're better than he is. Get out of their way and let him go.
Loose going into turn 10, and that spin and then slapped the wall with the front end into the cement barrier, and that was all for that number 24.
Goes to the backup car, and then the first round of qualifying, he's the fastest car. I think that tells you what kind of determination this young driver has.
Well, guys, now you hold your breath. Do I have enough fuel? Got to make it on fuel. I know everybody says they're good to go, but this is a big track.
I think he has enough fuel, but Larry, I'm guessing the last thing Kevin Harvick wants to see is a caution flag.
Well, the next thing he wants to see is that white flag waving and then try to go 2 more miles in this tank of fuel, because we know once we see the white flag, we've got a race, but you still have to make it around.
Certainly the other thing he doesn't want to see is that caution come out, goes into overtime, not just for fuel, but I don't think he wants to race anybody.
No.
These restarts are crazy. You see all kinds of wild things happen. And don't forget, you got Keselowski back there in fourth with some pretty fresh tires.
Yeah, well, here he is down into turn 11. Mike coming to get the white.
Harvick started 12th on the day, made it into the final round of qualifying, but no further up the line. And the white flag waves. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. Morris is off again. That was at turn 10. A lot of dust. He got right back on. 4 cars passed him as it happened.
Of course, you're going to find out when it's over. This thing is paved. You need to use the paved part.
Kyle Busch is pulled away from Dale Earnhardt Jr. at 5th place. No chance they would catch Brad Keselowski. Chase Elliott back to 7th. Kurt Busch in 8th. Keselowski, however, may get to 3rd place Denny Hamlin and 2nd place Clint Bowyer.
A few laps ago, I saw Denny Hamlin go right off the track in turn 4. He's having a lot of grip issues getting in the corner. We saw him go wide, giving up that 2nd place or 3rd place. Now Keselowski takes over that 3rd spot.
Well, his tires are 20 laps fresher than Hamlin's or Bowyer's.
Well, there's a 2nd place right in front of him, so he's got a shot at coming 2nd here.
Oh, we got a big wreck on the front straightaway with Casey Kane.
Big
crash.
On the front stretch.
Hit the wall at turn 1. White flag continues to wave. No caution.
Wow.
Kevin Harvick trying to nail down a 1-2-3 for Ford, and the caution flag waves.
That was a huge impact for Casey Kane.
Clean sweep.
Freaking job. Awesome job.
Checkered flag in the air. Kevin Harvick, Clint Bowyer, Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, a 1-2-3 for Ford.
Well, that adds to the list of our drivers that hadn't won yet this year.
Man, that car hit hard right there, guys.
Casey Kane pushed the cement barrier back several feet. Left-hander just past the start-finish line.
He and someone made
He's going to the outside, trying to make a pass.
Let's see what happens
McDowell,
right here.
maybe. I think he just got out in the debris.
Yeah, he just got dirt. He just got out in the loose stuff and then just went straight in the fence. And boy, it pushed that wall back. That was hard hit, guys.
That area not protected by a safer barrier, but those big concrete jersey barriers are movable, and that one moved about 3 feet.
Well, it's a clean sweep for that Mr. Harvick this weekend. Won yesterday. He comes back and wins today.
Got enough fuel to do that burnout.
He's good to go. I didn't think fuel was going to be an issue, particularly the way he slowed down, but man, you never know.
Kevin Harvick taking home the checkered flag is today's Sunoco fueling victory. Oh, by the way, one of us picked him.
Okay, who picked him?
Larry?
All right, guys, let's just make sure we clean up this finish. At the moment of caution, the field is frozen, but it also goes back to a timestamp. Not that there was anything close on Kevin Harvick, our leader, but any of the other finishing positions throughout the field, they go to the timestamp at the moment of caution where the drivers were.
Casey Kane, thanks, Larry. Casey Kane. There is the barrier I was talking
that
about.
Wall right there, they just moved that thing back out of the way. I mean, he hit that a ton.
And those are jersey barriers like you see on the highway. They are connected to each other, but not to the ground. Good thing, because that took quite a hit from Casey Kane. Third time, Stuart Haas finishes 1-2, and it's the 36th career victory for Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick climbs out to celebrate as the 11th different winner of 2017 when you consider all the top drivers who haven't won yet. Wow, what a season this has been.
It really has. And, I'm just a big old race fan. I'm going to go home, turn on my TV. I'm going to watch the hub. I'm going to watch some truck racing. I'm going to watch me some racing on TV.
I've just been so excited about this season. Stages have made a huge game changer. Can't wait to see how it impacts the championship later in the season.
Well, it's a 1-2-3 sweep for Ford and a 1-2 for Stewart-Haas Racing. Let's hear from the second place finisher with Chris.
Well, Clint Bowyer, just always impressive here at Sonoma. But, Clint, how do you recover to second place with a car that looks like this?
Well, I tore the hell out of it. There's no way around it. Just never could really get a track position. Some of it was self-inflicted, some of it wasn't. But, to get a finish like that, you just can't give up. That's road racing. You got to keep digging. No matter what, you're not down and out till you're out. And things turned around there, that long run. That's always my strong suit here. I was wanting it to be a lot hotter today, being easy on the tires and taking care of things. But, our Fords, man, thank you guys so much. Ford Motor Company, that's top 2 right there. I don't know who else finished. Well, top 3 right there. So hats off to them. Gene Haas, Tony Stewart, everybody at the shop. They built fast race cars, obviously Kevin winning. We just got to keep digging. We're getting closer. Everybody that's a part of this, Mobile One, Rush Truck Centers, everybody, just thank you guys.
Thanks, Clint.
With Michael Waltrip, Chris Myers back here in the Hollywood Hotel after 16 years in a Chevy. Kevin Harvick, his first win in a Ford, and it comes at a place that he hadn't won before here in Sonoma, California.
And you could tell how special the win was for him to get to the team and high-five them, hug Rodney Childers. He just had enough fuel to do a burnout and make it to victory lane.
And here's a guy who said that he gets motivated by change, whether it's the format, the stage racing, coming over to Ford. It took a little bit of an adjustment. He's been close all year, and he finally gets it done.
Wife Delana leaning in the car there. They're able to celebrate this victory. I'm sure that was Keelan on FaceTime they were looking at, and what a special moment. A California kid doing good out here on the West Coast.
From Bakersfield, California. Let's get out there for the celebration.
The second win for Stewart-Haas Racing since switching over to Ford, but the first for Kevin Harvick. An ice-cold Busch beer there. Kevin, everything this team has had to endure to switch over to Ford. What has the journey been like for you, for your crew chief, for this entire team, to be patient to get back to victory lane?
Well, first thing I want to do is thank everybody from Mobile One, Jimmie John's Busch, Outback, Hunt Brothers, Morton Buildings, Textron Off-Road, everybody at Ford, and everybody at Stewart-Haas Racing for really everything that they've done. So it's been a lot of work. A lot of the guys have put in a lot of hours, and it's paying off. I feel like we have a lot of room to grow. And for us, it's been okay. We've been competitive. We just hadn't got to victory lane. I felt like we've had a couple opportunities to get there, but just came up a little bit short. So this is worth the wait, to come to Sonoma for so many years and, to win yesterday, coming back to the K&N Series and come back here today. I guess we'll have to do that again because it worked out pretty good. So just really proud of everybody. They had great strategy and we're able to make it happen.
He is the California kid, gets his first win here in Sonoma, and his son Keelan was on FaceTime with a thumbs up. Chris?
All right, thank you, Jamie. Top finishing Chevy, 6th, Dale Earnhardt Jr. standing by with our Matt Yoakum.
Chris, over the past 17 years, we've seen Dale Earnhardt Jr. have record runs on the racetrack, such great exploits on and off the racetrack, showing such class. And Junior, 7 wins on Fox as you round out your career on our half of the year. 7 wins, including the 2014 Daytona 500. When you look back to the past 17 years, what will stand out to you most? What will you be most proud of?
Whoa. I think the wins and everything are great. I enjoyed celebrating those, but long after your career, guys come along and win races, and some of your accomplishments on the track sort of get forgotten, but who you are as a person never gets forgotten. People never forget who you were. I hope just people thought I was good and honest and represented the sport well. I hope people that worked with me enjoyed working with me, whether it was in the late model ranks or whatever, and I hope the guys I raced against enjoyed racing with me. That's really all that'll matter. And what people, I think, will remember as long as you're alive and beyond. So hopefully I left a good impression. I've had a lot of fun.
His last win on Fox came back in 2015 at Talladega. Now, I recall, Chris, when Dale Jr. and Kevin Harvick took over the Hollywood Hotel, and they had a lot of great fun that day, and they really did a good job.
Here. Yeah, that was here. I forget about that. That was a good time.
Chris?
It's always good having him, and we thank him for all the memories on and off the track. And, Michael, as we look at the standings here, and what is important, we've had 10 winners that count towards the playoffs, right, because of the encumbered win by Joey Logano. So 6 spots are open with 10 races to go.
And you can tell Dale Jr. wants it, and he drove his butt off today, got a chance to finish up inside the top 10. And, you know, Chris, the most memorable moment in a race after a race for me was a race I didn't win, and that was in 2001 at Daytona when Dale Jr. and I finished 1-2 down there. Just being able to hug him and the person that he is it just tells you a whole lot about his character and about how he was raised and what a wonderful person he is.
Well, and all the responsibility thrown on him, and he, of course, has the rest of this season to try and work himself into NASCAR's playoff. This race today in Sonoma, though, a Sonoma Raceway record in terms of number of leaders and number of lead changes. Once again, the story, much like this year, the leader of the most laps didn't win. It's only happened 4 times. Martin Truex out of the picture. Harvick played it right. We had another first-time winner for this season.
Well, I think we called it before the race. We knew those stages were going to really mix the lineup up. In fact, Harvick wasn't even in the top 20 in the first 2 stages. He got the job done when it counted. Rodney Childers had a great strategy, and that was the word of the day for sure, what these teams would do and how they would use strategy to get that track position.
Yeah, and Ford comes up big on the road. 7 wins for Ford in the 16 races through the Fox and FS1 season. Last year, Ford won a total of 8 races, so wide open championship, and the Joe Gibbs Toyotas have yet to win.
Yeah, and just another strong performance for the Wood Brothers Ford. That car's been strong week in and week out. Denny Hamlin, a great run. Those Gibb cars, I talked about it at the beginning of the show, they're zeroing in on it. They're going to be good this summer, and they'll get wins, and they'll be a part of this playoff picture.
All right, from the upset at Daytona to 3 first-time winners the course of the season, Dale Jr.'s retirement announcement, to 7-time champ Jimmie Johnson winning 3 races. It's been a wild ride. Thanks to our technical crew and production staff, to the drivers, to NASCAR, of course, you, the NASCAR fans, and don't forget Race Hub, also Victory Lane on FS1 throughout the season. We want to wish NBC much success with the rest of the NASCAR season coverage. Enjoy. The Hollywood Hotel will be closed and then reopening at the Daytona 500 in February. For our entire gang, I'm Chris Myers. Thanks for being a part of NASCAR on Fox and FS1 throughout the season. Congrats to Kevin Harvick. NHRA is straight ahead.
Things are getting ready to heat up.
Oh, heck yeah. This is going to be fun.
Absolutely incredible. I can't wait to come back next year and have some more fun.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support.